Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SAGU Sports Network. My name is Evan the Astro Kid, and I'm here with my wonderful co-host.
What's up? I'm Clutch.
And we have a Valorant Lions Esports broadcast for you today. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Today, our Valorant Lions team is going to be playing Husson University. And this is a big deal because both teams right now are 1-1. One win, one loss. And so this game could decide the momentum leading into the following weeks. This is week 3 of the ECAC regular season. And I'm excited. How you feeling, Clutch? You ready for this?
I'm very excited. I can't wait to watch them play.
I'm so excited. Yeah, last week we had some technical difficulties, but after lots of hard work, we have a wonderful media services team here at SAGU, and they put a lot of work. So did the esports team. Shout out to them for everybody working together and doing everything we could to get this broadcast. But we should get some good games of Valorant today. And just for you people at home who are not entirely sure about what Valorant is, how it works, and the different things, I'm going to go into a little brief description on how one would play Valorant. So this game is what is referred to as a first-person shooter or FPS game. The main mechanic is to shoot the opponents with guns to decrease their life. This game is played by 2 teams of 5 players each, fighting each other on a pre-selected battlefield, which is called the map. Each map is unique and allows the players to fight in different ways. The map is chosen by the teams playing in the current game and is usually predetermined. The game is played in rounds, with the first team that wins 13 rounds being declared the winner of the game as a whole, and the team that wins 2 games out of 3 possible games will take the set and take the conference win. If both teams reach 12 round wins, they will continue to play rounds. If both teams reach 12 round wins, they will continue to play rounds in overtime until one team wins by 2 rounds, which is kind of a fairly common scoring system like in volleyball and other things like that. So you have to win by 2 rounds. Each round is played in a bomb arming or bomb defusing scenario. The attacking team's objective is to take their bomb, that is called the spike, and arm or plant it on one of the available target locations that are known as sites that are somewhere on the current map. The sites are usually listed as a site with a letter following. For example, Site A, Site B, or Site C even. The defending team's objective is to stop the other team from planting the spike on one of the available sites, or, if worst comes to worst, disarming or what is called defusing the already planted spike before it explodes. The teams will alternate between attacking and defending until the game ends. Along with those team-specific objectives, if all players of one team have died, then they automatically lose the round. Now, keep in mind, this can be before or after the bomb is planted, but there is one exception to this rule. And the only exception is if the attacking team has already planted the spike and it goes off before the defending team can defuse it. Even if all the attackers have died, if the defending team cannot defuse the spike before it explodes, then the defending team loses. But in every other scenario, if all members of one team have died, then the other team takes the win. At the start of every round, you receive a certain amount of money that is determined by how well you did in the previous rounds. And at the first round of every game, everyone receives the exact same amount. And this is also known as your economy or your econ. This money is cumulative and is spent on weapons, shields, and abilities at the start of every round. Each player has their own amount of money and they can buy their own gear. And if a player dies during a round, they lose all of their current weapons and must purchase new weapons in the following rounds. Along with specific maps that are picked each game, each player will pick a character, or in this game they're called agents, that has their own unique abilities they can use on the battlefield. Each agent can dramatically change the strategies of the game and allows teammates to work together. These abilities have different effects like blinding the opponent, putting up a portable wall, or shooting a giant explosive, and for the most part, we'll be using terms to signify these things. So just so that you can kind of wrap your head around it, when we use the word flash, we are referring to an ability that blinds the opponent, so they are unable to see for a certain amount of time. When we use a word like smoke, we're referring to what's essentially like a smoke bomb. A lot of times it may not look like a smoke bomb, but its main purpose is to have a stationary section that obscures vision. And when you walk through it, you're like kind of like semi-blinded, like walking through smoke or fog, and it just kind of helps cover certain areas so that the opponent can't get the edge on you. Then there are also walls, which some are actual physical walls, other are like damaging walls, but a wall is basically like, like a pop-up wall that obscures vision and sometimes can block passage. And then there are different abilities that'll pop up here and there, but for the most part, those are the main ones you should know about. Also, there is what we in this game refer to as mollies, which if you think of a Molotov cocktail, think about when you throw it and it creates like this circle of fire. A lot of characters have an ability where they can throw something at the ground or at a wall, and it just creates this area of like persistent damage to where if the opponent walks through it, they will take damage for walking through that area. So a lot of the abilities and utility mechanics in this game are centered around either preventing the opponent from going into a certain area or keeping them where you want them. And for the most part, that is Valorant. And we are very, very excited because our SAGU Lions Valorant team is very, very strong. They've been playing together for a long time. I mean, you, Clutch, you were on the team last semester.
Yes, sir.
He was one of the star players, I should say. And I'm very excited to see how the team has progressed, how they've grown, the different strategies they've found. And we are going to get into it in just a minute. As of right now, before the game actually starts, they have to take some time to find what's known as a lobby, which is basically like the place where all the players get together before they actually start the game, and they connect to the same like network server. And right now they are figuring out where the lobby is going to be, you know, the different aspects of it, making sure the internet connection is good, make sure there's no lag or latency, which we've talked about on previous streams, but just as a recap, lag is basically delay over the internet. Latency is also another word for this. And if there's too much lag or too much latency, it can cause a lot of problems. And because games like these are so fast, they happen in actual milliseconds, having any kind of stutter or delay can really be game breaking and can actually lose games, believe it or not. But we are hoping to get into this game soon. While we're waiting for this, Clutch, you knowing what you know about these players, the guys playing on our SAGU Lions Valorant team, what is the biggest advantage you see them going into this matchup, something that you have seen them do really, really well, something that's consistent, something they've practiced?
Yeah, so one thing that I've seen them practice a lot, especially this semester now, is their communication and their team compositions.
Okay.
So they've been going up against certain teams in scrimming, learning how to retake sites or plant sites, rush sites, work on different things, as well as their communication.
Okay, absolutely. And just for those of you that don't know, scrimming, even though it sounds like a cleaning agent, scrimming is actually the term used for a friendly competitive style game where it's two people sitting down, and even though it's not a genuine like rules heavy strict competition, they still use like competitive rules and competitive mindsets, but it's in the vein of practicing. But in the gamer world, it is known as scrimming, and we are actually about to get into this first game. As you can see for our SAGU Lions lineup, Clutch, why don't you walk me through all these different players and kind of what we're looking at here and the different strategies they might employ?
Yep, so all right, first we'll start off at the top. That's Watto. He is their team captain and has been with us since Valorant's start. He has grown exponentially and is a great initiator player. You see him locking in on the Fade. Fade had, maybe going for the KO here. KO has abilities to shut down other opponents' abilities and allow them to push sites. Next, we have Bipolar, or Chris. He was playing our smoke character, but now he actually recently got into our duelist, and he's playing Jet. He is really great at fragging out, and I've loved watching him grow. Jericho, he's playing Sova, one of the best Sovas that I know. Amazing at the lineups and just tomfoolery he can get up to with that character.
Wonderful.
Then we have Asher playing the KJ. Killjoy is a Sentinel. She can lock down sites, and Syntax is actually the one who is technically taking my place on the team because everyone else is the exact same. Syntax was actually casting last semester. So, and then last we have Ogden, which we're going to switch over to our team here. There we go. Last we have Ogden. He's also been on our team since the start. He's playing our Omen. He's the smoke character, blocks off lines of sight. And yeah, we're about to get into it.
Yeah, we're about to hop into this. I'm very excited. We've got a really fun game. So just so you guys at home are aware, right now we are going to be able to see both our team that's outlined in this red translucent outline, if you will, this red glow, and the opponents have this kind of orange greenish or orange Evan these greenish bluish glow. Now the thing is, them in the game right now are not able to see those glowing outlines with those little green bars underneath. So because we are in this special spectator view, we are able to see where everyone on the map is right now. But as you can see, even though we know where they are as of this moment, our SAGU Lions don't entirely know where they are. So playing this game very safe, just like they're doing right here, working together as a team, trying to figure out where the opponent is, where they're sitting. It's a really huge part to this game. And us as spectators, we can see kind of the strategy from both sides, but they, as of right now, are not able to see the opponent. So that is a very clear distinction. But our SAGU Lions team, slowly getting stopped right here. They had a really good forward momentum towards the beginning, but it looks like one of the players from Husson Green was able to really put a stop to it, but
it is
SAGU,
a 2v2 left.
2 players versus 2 players, but the SAGU Lions are able to get the spike down, and now, since the spike has been planted, there is a timer. I believe it's 40 seconds, if I'm correct.
Don't ask me those, I forget.
Okay.
If I'm being honest off the top of my head.
I believe it's 40 seconds, but now since the spike has been planted, there's only a limited amount of time for the defenders to come onto this site and defuse the spike. So now it's up to our...
Now it's up to Ogden, 1v1 against the Cypher. He's going for the teleport. Oh! Austin with the click.
Wow, that was really well played by Austin. Ogden's character is called Omen. He has an ability that allows him to teleport short distances. And he was hoping to use that to his advantage, but Austin was too quick, and he knew what to look for.
I wonder if that teleport was supposed to go in that middle of that generator instead of too far. I don't know if that was misplaced or not, but yeah, that was in the first round.
Unfortunate. But as you can see, it's a very fast-paced game. Now, another big mechanic that I didn't mention during the beginning was that when you die during a round, you do not respawn. So this is different from most traditional first-person shooters. This is very akin to Search and Destroy in Call of Duty, where during each round, if you die for any reason, you are down. Now, there are a few exceptions with certain character abilities, but we're not actually seeing any of those in this game right now. There is a character that can allow you to revive a teammate that has died, but no team is playing this.
No team is playing Sage right now. She's usually not on this map.
Yes. But as of right now, as you can see in the top left, that is what is the mini-map, and that basically gives you an overview of everything, and wow.
I'm sorry, I need to stop you there. Pigeon Mac was sitting in lane and happened to pick up 3 players from our SAGU team.
Yeah, Pigeon Mac, that was really well played. That was a triple kill, it looked like.
That was a triple kill, yep, and then Austin picked up a 4th. It is now just Jericho in a 1v2 against Cypher. He gets 1.
Gets 1, that's really good, but now the opponent...
he knows what Blue Kicks is.
Yeah, but now the opponent knows where he is and not able to get the kill.
Very close.
Very close. That was very well played by Jericho, but unfortunately, a 1v2 is always a tough situation.
Yeah, Brimmy Cakes there with the clutch for round 2. Going
yes, absolutely, the Brimmy Cakes. I love it. But yes, as... I lost my train of thought. Unfortunate. But we are going to get into this round 3. As of right now, Husson Green, because they have this advantage, because they've been winning rounds, because they've been getting kills, they have a lot of money that they have available to them. Unfortunately, SAGU, because they have been losing rounds, they've not been getting as many kills as they would like. Their economy is a bit lower, so they're having to work with fewer resources. As you can see, they're not using these massive guns, and they don't have a bunch of abilities, but they're hoping that even with their limited resources, they can still get some kills and hopefully take a round. Now, from what it looks... Oh, as I was saying, I remember what I was talking about. In the top left, you have your mini-map. And this is basically a general overview of where everyone is on the map, where they're looking, what they're trying to go for. So you can see on the top right of the mini-map is a big square with an A in it. That is Site A. That is one location that our SAGU Lions Valorant team can plant the spike and hopefully win the round. Now on the left you see the square with the B, that is the B site, and that is another location that they can plant it. Where the SAGU Lions want to plant it, well, that's up to them. Whether they want to go for certain advantages depending on where the placement of the site location is, maybe certain angles, certain character advantages that they can get through movement and through revealing certain spots. It all depends on the strategies that they want to employ per the round, and they can switch it up whenever they like.
And it looks like they are trying to go for A site here. And
unfortunately, they're getting pretty
Boss
heavily...
the first pick on Ogden. Jericho with the trade.
Wow, great kill.
So they're making on a site here. They close the door. And they are going to go for the plant. Watto with one.
Watto, great shot. And it looks like...
Syntax in a clutch. And Austin again with another clutch situation.
Wow. Austin doing a really phenomenal job. I don't know how many kills he has, but it feels like a lot.
If I can bring up... That's the map.
Well, however many kills he has, I assume it's at least 3 or 4, because he has been on a roll as of right now.
We have a timeout starting out for SAGU, so we got a timeout.
Yeah, players between rounds can take a timeout to come up with strategies, to think about different aspects of the game, maybe certain things they want to focus on, things to take away from, because right now, SAGU is 0 rounds with Husson University up 3 rounds on our SAGU Lions. So they're taking some time to strategize and try and figure out maybe some ways that they can win this next round.
It can also be a mental reset. Sometimes they just need a couple, just even a minute, just to recoup and understand what's going on, why they are 3-0, and then get back into the swing of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And Clutch, if you were their coach, what would you tell them? What's some ways that they can get the advantage in this next round?
It's a great question. Kind of looking at what they're going at, I mean, they are doing well. It just, there happens to be a lot of picks, and Husson is doing a well job of clearing through those certain angles and getting onto the site and taking the picks away from them. So we'll just have to see where it goes. As we are going into round 4, this is going to be a full buy round for them, so we will see them, I think, running full Vandals and ARs here.
All right.
So they are going to be on a level playing field with guns.
Okay. Yeah, they luckily the economy has been good enough for SAGU. They've been kind of being pretty conservative, reserving their money, and now they have the ability to do what's known as a full buy, where they can get the biggest guns that do the most damage, have the best range, and the most common one of these guns known as the Vandal. And it's pretty similar to like your AK-47 assault rifle kind of gun. And it does a lot of damage, it's got good range. And we are getting into this round 4 here. Hopefully the SAGU Lions can take the advantage. Now, as you can see right now, this ability that is being used, there's this little owl drone that allows them to go over walls and see where the enemy is at. And as you can see, trying to get the pick with this bow and arrow laser beam ability, but it's not able to go off.
I think it's 2 picks here. Boss taking Jericho out.
Yeah. Ogden doing good.
But Ogden is in market right now. Can he get a third? He gets a third.
Wow, well done by Ogden, holding the angle.
All right, here comes Mac and Boss.
And not good enough to take the pick.
Now they are on site, and they have planted.
And they do have the numbers advantage. It is 3 versus 2. And we'll see if they're able to cover all of the different angles the enemies could approach from.
1 enemy remaining.
She dismisses. It's just Boss in a 1v2.
Right now it's going to be very hard for Boss to take this, but with that ability, it was hard for the bipolar to see, but...
And Watto with the cleanup kill.
Watto, very well played. Being patient, taking his time, because as we could see that the Reyna, I believe is the character, had dropped down and was walking around on site, but again, they're not allowed to see these glowing outlines through walls and different things. They're just hoping, using their awareness. A lot of times they'll use audio cues. They've got headphones on that allow them to hear where different things are happening, and that is exactly what Watto did there. He was listening for when this Reyna player was going to jump down onto the site, heard it, was patient, and peeked just in time.
So you hear that little wet sound as they drop down on the site because there's water there. Yeah, so as you heard that drop, he kind of knew where they were going to go.
Exactly, and they're playing very strong, getting their first win, hoping to use this win to kind of carry them forward. But as you can see, Boss playing a really aggressive position.
He's playing in wine here. Let's see if he's going to be able to pick one out.
There's no way to retreat from there, if I remember correctly.
Watt a little bit short on the charge there.
And there it is, that Boss with that double kill. That
Jericho has pushed up, though.
That aggressive angle paying off. And Boss getting a third with the pistol, but the bipolar there to take that kill.
Jericho with the kill on
Bimmy Jericho.
He's waiting.
Oh,
he gets the headshot.
Great patience. Very well played by Jericho.
And now it's a 1v2. Jericho versus Justin and Lance.
being very quiet. One of the mechanics in this game, because hearing things is so important, you have the option to walk slowly, which muffles your footsteps and allows you to move quieter so that the enemies cannot hear you. And
If you are shift walking,
30
which is
seconds left.
walking and the regular's running, they actually can't hear your footsteps. He gets flashed and lands. The double flash was able to peek out and get Jericho.
Unfortunately, being flashed, getting blinded, not fun. And yes, that was, I believe, I believe that was Brimstone. I could be wrong. No, was that
Flash?
KO?
That was the KO.
That was
yes.
KO. So KO has an ability where he throws out this little hand grenade that is basically a flashbang, and it blinds you, and unfortunately Jericho got blinded there, could not see.
Now for us, we won't have the blinding effect.
Yes.
On their screen, with KOs at least, it's just green with a white dot in the middle, symbolizing that you've been flashed. For us, we just see a little circle at the top that shows that they are blind.
Yeah. But in-game, they are actually not able to see anything that's happening in the game.
No, they are not.
And KO's flash lasts quite a while, which can really cost you if you are trying to not die. But as we can see, the SAGU line's pushing Site B.
And they are going with another econ round again. They needed to because they lost those guns, so you'll see Frenzies and Spectres here. Oh, here comes Jericho because Boss is on the flank. Is he going to be able to get Boss? Or is Boss going to check it? He does get the pick!
Great shot.
What a shot from Jericho.
Very good shot.
So there's two who are in spawn there. They have picked up a Vandal. Now we're going to go back to B here. Lands with the pick on Polar. Now stabilizing it back to a 4v4. They are taking it slow here. We're going to have to see what happens.
Yeah, they're playing very patient.
Very
not rushing.
Now that there's 30 seconds, they are going to commit on a site, and I think, knowing them, they are going to rush for A here. Because of some info, they probably think that there is only going to be KJ on site A. Oh, Brimmy Cakes.
And Watto, not
Sitting
enough to
mid.
get the kill.
10 seconds left. Spike down A.
Is now Jericho and Ogden.
I have the spike.
Does Jericho have enough time to plant? I don't think he does.
I don't
he
think
needed
that
4
was
seconds.
enough. Yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the animation to actually plant the spike takes time, and so if you're not able to get onto that site and at least start planning
They
it
need to have
within
4 seconds left on the clock
Yeah.
for the animation to fully complete.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate. Also, just for you viewers at home, when we use the word pick, we're essentially referring to a kill. And because this game is all about no respawns, limited lives, getting a pick or a kill is a really big deal. Because you are essentially picking off their numbers and giving yourself a numbers advantage. But SAGU opting for A site. Just for your viewers at home, the first team to get 13 rounds wins the game.
Here.
And they are playing a best of 3. First team to win 2 games out of 3 is declared the winner of this conference week. And so right now, with Husson Green up 5 games to SAGU's 5 rounds to SAGU's 1 round, SAGU's got quite an uphill climb, but not able to get the pick.
But Watto does get the trade.
That's good. So now, going back to a 4 versus 4. And SAGU playing pretty heavy in the middle of the map.
Scanning ahead.
They're getting a mid presence. They're seeing what all is there.
Yeah,
They're pushing
SAGU
up through market now.
should run.
playing very patient.
Here comes the KJ ultimate.
Open up the sky.
We're seeing lots of ultimate abilities
Spike
coming out right
down
now.
B.
Syntax gets taken down and the ult is along
30
with
seconds
it.
left.
Because Boss is on the flank. They are backside. All 4 have almost rotated over now. Ogden gets the kill.
Wow, great kill by Ogden.
All right, now here comes their KJ. Is he going to peek the right angle for Ogden? He hears the footsteps. This is the
and he
timing,
doesn't
though. Is he going to be able to get Boss, though? No,
No.
Boss is able to get the pick.
Not enough.
10 seconds left.
And
Is
luckily,
now to Watto and Jericho. 2v3. Cypher popping his ult, which allows him to get the information of certain players. Jericho responding with his ult because he was also able to get information, but Boss and Austin
Boss and Austin getting the picks they needed.
going into a pinch, one coming from Heaven and one coming from Tree, able to secure both those kills.
Very well done by Husson Green and SAGU. Looking difficult. They're not getting the economy that they need to get a lead here. And I will also say that along with all of the regular abilities that each character has, which each character has their own array of unique abilities, each character has their own what's known as an ultimate ability. And it's these big, loud, game-changing abilities that can completely turn the tide of a match. And as you saw in that last round, there was this big, translucent, hexagonal dome that was starting to appear. One of the characters, her name is Killjoy, and if you are standing in that cage by the time that timer gets to 0, very bad things happen. You can't move. All you can do is kind of look around.
You can move very slowly, and you don't have any ability to shoot or use abilities. You're kind of just stuck.
Yeah, and it can be really bad, especially if the opponent's right there waiting for you. But
we do see Bipolar come out with his ultimate, his throwing knives. These will one shot to the head and 50 shot to the body. They go very fast, and you can, unlike most games in this, most guns in this game where you have to stop before you shoot, Jet can fully move and even be up in the air, and her daggers still have 100% accuracy.
all right, and we are going to listen in to the SAGU Lions as they are playing in this round, hoping for a victory. Let's take a listen.
Smoke, can you smoke here?
One enemy.
Smoke where?
remaining.
Where is here? Where is here?
Where I'm marking, I don't know what the CT
He
is.
was last seen on A.
Last seen on A.
Or catwalk, rather. Or garden. That's what it is. My bad.
Scanning ahead.
All right, so as they
Vandal-
eliminated all the players, they are just giving comms that they knew where the KJ was last, and that was at A
I'm
site.
using a util here.
So you can see Jericho peeking towards their spawn because that's
Those are
where they.
she's here.
He did see the
Ramps,
KJ.
ramps. On A, on
Now
A.
KJ is going to rotate. I think she might
Is
see.
door able to close here?
Yeah.
I might be saving this.
She could be saving.
They just closed the door there.
Someone check spawn real
That
quick.
door's a blast
Jericho,
door, so
yeah, stay in the corner.
that
Stay
blue,
awesome, you just say.
it shows that it's at full health,
I'm
and you have to
with
shoot
you.
bullets
I'm
or
with
use
bipolar.
abilities
Everyone
to break
choose
it.
Like play together.
It'll
here.
go from
Like
blue
you
to
do.
yellow to orange to red.
And you'll see a handful of these
Jericho,
doors,
you're far
I
enough away from bomb here.
believe, on
I'll
this
keep going out a
map. I
little
think
farther.
there's 2.
Yes,
our
there is
spawn.
2, one on each
Just
site.
stay in those
Right.
corners.
So
Here.
You got your, I'll watch you.
KJ has opted to save here, which means she's not going to go and try and risk her life. She's going to save her economy
saved.
and
They
the
have a lot
big
of
gun
money.
that she has. So that way they
Heck, did y'all see that? There was like a
don't
radar
have
right
to save
there.
for anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because
And that is
when
a
the
very
running in,
viable
still spawn
strategy,
before
especially if you don't have the numbers advantage.
No, no, no.
Is
In our
instead of
spawn.
running in and getting killed and losing all of your weapons that
killed
you will have to
Reyna,
buy next round if you die,
Switch.
you kind of run and
let's try
hide
to-
and hope
let's
the
try
enemy
to
doesn't
take
look for
a-
you and keep all those
Wada,
good
did
weapons
you
for
buy
the
that gun? I
following
can buy
round.
you.
Balcony. And not able to get away with it right now. It looks like the Brimstone is opting to
To
be
save
safe
again.
and to save his weapons and to keep them for this next round, which I think is probably their best play that they could think right now, considering...
But we are going to see Bipolar here go aggressive. He might get the kill, or... Is he going to peek it? Oh!
Oh, no!
No, Brimmy Cakes was just in the corner, so the bomb just touched him. That is very unfortunate corner
so
to be in.
unfortunate.
I really thought that he might have gotten the drop on Bipolar, but
Yeah, that was probably the most cinematic timing I've ever seen.
very much so.
When this, so for you viewers at home, when the spike goes off and it explodes, there's this like circular radius of an explosion that has a very set distance. Now that's what that black dome looked like, and I don't remember who it was on their team, but the Brimstone player, he was sitting just in the wrong spot and hitting just the edge of that explosion radius and died right before Jericho, I believe it was.
that was Bipolar.
Bipolar ran in front, and
Revealing
SAGU able to take the win and not lose a life at the end there.
Deploying
And then
drone.
Jericho here with the first pick with the Operator on mid.
Operator's a very strong sniper rifle. It's basically a one-shot kill anywhere in the body.
Yes, body and headshot are our kills. Now we are going slow again here. Bipolar, possibly going through Cheer here. He might meet the Cypher. He gets the information, he swings. But Wada with a trade on Brimmy Cakes. So right now we can see for every kill they've gotten, the kill has come back. Every trade has been there. So now it's an even 3v3 again. They are going to be aggressive here on B site. Watto sees Boss and gets the pick. The door was broken. Hit by Austin. Jericho holding the up from long here. Oh, but they don't know. Hans is coming in from behind. He's going to get the flank.
Oh, and there it is.
He does, and there it is. Now it's just up to Syntix in a 1v2.
One enemy
He gets
remaining.
one. It's just Austin now. He has the angle. Austin with the
not
headshot.
Great shot by Austin.
Austin has been coming up as the last player in most of these rounds and clutching a lot of them up.
As you're watching this game happen, you'll see that sometimes it'll take a bunch of shots to
round
take
before
someone
the
down,
switch.
and then other times it feels like they die almost instantly. In this game, and a lot of games similar to this, headshots are very important. Headshots can bring someone down very quickly. They do a lot of damage, and even if you have a really weak gun, 1 or 2 well-placed headshots is enough to take someone down. So a lot of times when you see someone die what feels like really instantly, it's because the opponent got a headshot on them, and those are what you're looking for in this game.
All right, so now we're in round 12. We've been 11 rounds out already. This is going to be the last round of the half before they switch sides and go to defense. I'm sure SAGU here is looking for a 7-5 because that'll stabilize them pretty well into defending. Now, what I heard before is that with the Husson Eagles, this is their best defending map, which is why I guess they opted to defend first. Jericho with a pick on Lance again on mid. He's watching for the res just in case. Boss pick
Spike
on
down
Syntix. Watto with the refrag. It's now a 3v3 now that Lance has fully been taken out of his ult. And they are now going to go for the plant. Here comes Jericho with the ult, seeing if he can get any information. I think he tagged Watto there
Yeah.
on accident. Now this is a lineup. Watto has his molly ready for the spike if they do
One
decide to
enemy
push.
remaining.
And now it is a 2v1 versus Austin again. He's going to go for the plant. For the defuse. To push through. And they are able to get the kill, going 7-5 at the end of the half.
Very well played by the SAGU Lions.
I think that score
Switching
is
sides.
good going into the defending half, because I know SAGU is also a really good defending team on this map as well. They love Ascent. I also love Ascent. Who doesn't love Ascent?
It's a great map.
Ascent is almost every Valorant player's favorite map.
Pretty
let's be
much.
honest.
But SAGU, 5 to Husson Green 7. Not bad. Good place to be in.
It is only a 2-point deficit, and I think defense is really going to shine through
Right
here.
here.
So.
Absolutely. Also, another term that we hear Clutch using, he says frag every now and then. That is another word for kill. There's a lot of words for getting a kill
Indeed.
in these games. But words like pick, words like frag, things like that, those just mean getting a kill on the opponent. But as we can see...
Looks like as we're starting out here, Husson all in the red. They looks like they're going for a very heavy mid presence.
As you can see, all of them are running through the middle, and it looks like they're leaning towards
They're rushing
B.
through mid. Here comes everyone. Bipolar, the first form of contact there. They are rushing site very fast. They take
Very
out Augment.
quickly.
Oh, found them.
And now they have full site control. It's now a 1v4. That was very quick. A very fast take
Spike planted.
from Husson.
Now it's going to be difficult for the SAGU Lions to try and retake this side, but Jericho getting a
with
pick.
one.
Revealing area.
Going to throw a sonar dart so see if there's anything out in the open. Doesn't ping anyone. Picks up the Sheriff. Can he get a pick?
Oh, unfortunately
He sees
misses the
one lane.
shot.
Is he going to be able to get Remy Cakes here?
Last player standing.
No, Remy Cakes with the headshot. Both were able to get headshots, but Remy hit another shot. They have them in the triangle
to go for
formation. He
anything
gets
and-
one, but it gets immediately traded by the one
Not
sitting on
enough.
box.
Very well played by Husson Green. I think that was a really good kind of all-team push onto the site from mid. Mid is usually just a common term for referring to the middle of the map. And as we said before, the sites are numbered. So, you know, saying rushing B, rushing A, we are referring to the bomb sites, as you can see on the top left of your mini-map. That is where all the locations are, where the bomb sites are, where everyone's looking, and things like that. And there's lots of strategy involved here. And SAGU Lions, it's hard losing the first round of a new half because all the money's been reset. So right now, they don't have a lot of economy to work with.
It looks like they're going through A and mid. The Sonar Dart picking up 3. They aren't going as fast here, but they're using their abilities to see if who all is on A.
Playing very patient.
Very patient here. Okay, now they're possibly going to start firing up here. You can see the Reyna. There's the flash. There's the Reyna eye. And they're going to push through.
Oh,
Jericho
wow.
walking into all of them, getting a pick.
Good trade. Losing their life, but getting a kill. So it's
Austin
still
is
4 versus
planting.
4.
Watto's here. He's got an interesting angle. Let's see. Will bipolar. The door is locked. Boss with the pick on the Syntix.
We're going to try and listen in to the SAGU Lions team and hear what they're saying during this.
If you can.
Alright.
Yeah, you're nice.
And that is going to be the pick
Okay.
from Husson, 9-5. But because that was a save round, now they're able to stabilize, and they're going to be able to full buy here now. Vandals and Phantoms.
Does anyone want to be switching side this round?
I'll go to B.
Teams that
Who do you replace?
take some rounds to have worse weapons. The main strategy of that is to kind of keep the money that you have, accrue some money over multiple rounds, so that once you get into the later rounds, you can get the bigger, better, more expensive weapons, which is referred to as a full buy.
Full buy
you get-
means they're buying heavy shields, they're buying all their abilities. And now right here we'll see Jericho
Knives landing.
staying one of the main angles to see if he can get a pick, because one of those guns, the Odin, is very good at hitting through walls.
3.
And it has such a fast rate of fire
Cypher's
that
mid,
it's really,
Cypher's mid, Cypher's
really
mid,
easy to
Cypher's
get a
mid.
headshot with that thing. But
Alright,
it is
let's
very
go.
expensive.
Still one at B
It
main.
is.
I know I'm here, so I'm probably
I'll
gonna
go
die
rotate.
again.
Asher, play here, play here.
Yeah.
Play more back, play more back.
Again,
Play
this
in this
Husson
corner if you
Green
can.
team
That's a
being
better
very
corner for you.
patient, pushing up through mid.
Hey, main
Bipolar
smoke
playing
off,
smart.
knife for,
He is able to get the pick on Boss. Is he going to get the second one?
Another one there,
No,
another
Pigeon
one there.
Mac with the trade.
You can go over.
Careful,
They're
not
calling it over that
We
they
got
are
spawn.
going through mid.
I got
Alright.
trees set up.
I'm spawned now.
And it looks like they're trying to focus their attention
Watto,
B, but
amazing pick on Austin and Jericho on Pigeon.
wow.
It's now
Great double
4v2.
kill. Well, great 2 kills, I should say.
I'm holding spike. I'm just gonna hold it from this angle. Asher,
And
watch
right
behind
now,
us.
because
Asher,
the
watch behind
player
us.
that was holding the spike dropped it,
enemy remaining.
now the spike is
30
sitting on the
seconds.
ground, and
I'm peeking
right now
this.
the attacking Husson Green has to either find this spike or try and stay alive,
No, that was so
save their weapons if they can, but it looks like he's going to push, and
nice.
Jericho ready with the Odin.
That was just Valorant timing. That's
Very well
unfortunate.
played.
Very well played.
Heads until we're home, yes?
And now they're able to stabilize here, now only 3 rounds behind.
Yeah, you're good. I can.
Now that because their bonus round, Husson now will be able to full buy their guns, their Vandals and Phantoms. And now
No,
we're going to
it's
see a
gonna
pretty
be- I
even
guess I
playing
can't
field
buy you.
here this round.
Well, Chris, can you force up as much as you can here? Or no, Ogden, can you buy Chris?
We'll
Right,
see
no,
what
it's
the
fine.
Husson Green Valorant team
Right
is
here.
going to try and do to mix this up, but I don't know. SAGU Lions looking pretty strong.
Looks like they might be trying to go A
Or
here
knife in
again.
the same spot here.
They've got some good weapons. They've got good economy right now. One cool mechanic about this game is that you can buy weapons for other people. So if you have a lot of money,
They
but your
shot
teammate
knife.
does
They
not,
shot
you
a
can
knife.
actually buy
Can I get
them a
a fast
gun
rotate one person
and
over
balance
here?
out your economy
Can I
amongst
get
your
a smoke mid
team.
as well?
Very
Tree,
useful.
tree,
Also tree, also
One's
tree.
mid, one's mid, one's mid, one's mid.
All right,
You
here's
stay
it ready.
mid, you stay mid. I'll go faster too.
We are getting their call
Rain
out.
a tree, rain a tree.
They do call Boss out in tree here.
Rain a dead, rain a dead.
Watto getting the
Stop.
call.
Yes, back up. We
No,
have
we don't
numbers.
have to peek this, Ogden.
I know, I'm not picking it.
Okay, okay.
Watto getting the pick.
When we use the word comms, we're referring to just their
Whenever the smoke
communication.
goes down, we peek this together.
And as you can see,
I'm
they're
gonna give
using
a
a
B.
lot of
I'll tell you when
terms and
I'm
jargon that is
now.
them
Nice.
Good kill.
basically
Good kill.
saying where the opponents are,
on,
and they're
on.
actually giving pretty specific locations. And
Ogden with 2.
the double kill, great job by Ogden. And as
Megan SAGU really turning it up right now.
I mean, and the communication is just really there. The fact that all these little terms and jargon and words and different things that they're saying is them telling each other exactly where the opponent is, so that people can be standing there ready for when they turn the corner. The crosshair is already where the opponent's head is going to be. They can get a quick headshot, move on, and Ogden right where he needed to be, right at the right time. Very well played by the SAGU Lions.
I will rip the light from them.
All right, let's see. He might be able to get a pick this time because they're calling. They did notice the spray.
Revealing area.
I got smoked off over here in mid.
Almost getting maybe a little bit of damage, but not enough.
Almost, they were just out of the range of it. Now they're pushing through mid again.
They just hold that. Nice.
Wow,
What a
great
wonderful kill on Boss there.
Don't peek.
Cypher put his cam up. Cypher put his cam up. Chris, can you jump peek?
Just wait.
There's another one there. Brim's there.
Asher, I need you holding A. No, don't. I don't need you rotating.
One's pushing me mid.
Here's the volley.
Hold up.
It looks like they're pushing mid.
No, it's off floor.
They're trying to rush. And
Ogden
wow.
with 2. He gets 3.
Ogden with 3.
And Jericho.
Good job, guys.
What?
Did
That was great. All the players, all of them got kills there. Watto, Jericho, and Ogden with 2.
Very well played by Ogden, Watto, Jericho, setting up what essentially became kind of like a kill zone. They were
pinch,
all, yes, the term that is used in this game and game similar is known as a pinch, where you and your teammate are sitting at opposing angles, all facing the same direction, so that when the enemy walks through, there's basically nothing they can do. They would have had to have had perfect aim, perfect reflexes. SAGU Lions almost tying it up. They're only down 1 round.
You should run.
All right, it is now 9-8. Here comes the KJ ult as they're pushing onto site. Jericho, see if we can get anything with his ult. It does not look like it. Husson has used that ult very effectively to get on the site and plant, and now it is up to SAGU's job to retake the site. Ogden is able to swing. The flank gets picked off. They are still up in numbers, 4v3.
Suppressed.
Auto's hopping down in the site.
You are powerless.
As of right now, I would assume they've got about 10 seconds.
Pigeon Mac, and
wow.
There's another pinch.
Pigeon Mac and Lance.
I don't think they were aware of Pigeon Mac, the KJ, being under the site.
No, that was very well played by their Killjoy. Pigeon Mac playing really well, playing really smart.
Hiding in that corner waiting, and then they were able to both swing out, one from long and one from under the site, which we call hell.
Well, on top of that platform is referred to as heaven. And so, underneath the platform, referred to as hell.
So on most maps, you will see the top and the bottom of the sites being labeled as that.
And that is for the most part just so the teammates can know exactly where the enemy is, and they're essentially communicating precise locations so they know where they need to shoot and where they need to be. And Pigeon Mac
with a kill on Jericho.
A very aggressive forward move, but and Boss getting a double kill on B site.
Is now 2v5. Again, a very quick execution.
Boss getting a little greedy, getting picked by Syntix. Right now it's a 2 versus 4. This is going to be really hard for SAGU, but
3 suppressed.
If they can get a pick or 2, it could really even it out. And Syntix is close to his ultimate ability. And Watto
with the pick. 2v3, 2v2.
Wow, Watto with 2 picks.
Last player standing.
And unfortunately, Pigeon Mac and Austin. Wow. Holding angles.
Again, these pinches are crazy. You'll see him come from market, and Austin was sitting on site, and they again were able to pinch both sides.
Wow. Very good job by both Pigeon and Austin. Doing a really good job at holding these sites being patient, not pushing too hard. See, Boss is getting these great kills, but he pushes forward and kind of exposes himself a little bit too much. And sure, he'll get a kill or two, but then he gets picked off, and now the game's a little bit more manageable for the SAGU Lions. But hey, if he keeps doing that, the SAGU Lions might take this. We'll see what he plans to do here. You see Watto.
He does throw the knife.
The knife is an ability that shuts down opponent abilities, and he threw it in a way that it would go off in a specific location where he wanted it to.
He does see them come through tree now. It's going to come very fast. He pops his ultimate to stop abilities. He's able to get one pick. Husson with 2. Ogden with refrag. And that was very quick from Polar and Ogden. Now it is just up to Brimmy
5 seconds
Cakes.
till respawn. Someone can get me, maybe? Thank you. Nice, nice, nice.
Jericho's going to be the first contact.
We know where.
Brimmy takes it.
I'm gonna try and save a gun. Right, we need to kill him.
It looks like he might be trying to go
We need to kill him?
You have Spike. You have Heaven.
into
We
spawn
have
here.
spike. We have spike.
As you can see here, they reference Heaven because that's where...
That's that upper balcony
But they didn't
area.
have guns,
Yep.
that's what I'm saying.
And they do have Spike down, so that means Brimmy Cakes has to
enough.
either save
They're all-
or
they're
he
all
has to try and get the
4,000 plus.
Spike.
And
I
it
don't know,
looks
he didn't
like he's
have
trying
Heaven.
to push
Reload
forward. He
Heaven,
has
reload
40 seconds to work with here.
He's slowly moving up to Heaven.
I'm going
We-
here.
Pick up Odin too.
Careful, careful. We don't need to.
And
Nice.
Ogden with a pick there.
Yeah, he had a freaking.
Very well done by
Man, I
Ogden.
can't remember the name.
Vandal?
The Ares.
Ogden
no,
with
no,
3
no.
there.
Ares, Ares.
That was very well played.
Ogden
Ogden doing really good, getting lots of double and triple kills.
As we saw there, now instead of a
Uh,
pinch, we saw Bipolar. We saw Ogden and Bipolar
don't have that
do
great of
another
a buy right
pinch.
here.
Ogden came around from the back and he flanked,
Oh,
which
no,
is
they have enough.
coming
They
from
have enough.
behind the enemy.
Yeah.
It's
Play-
gonna,
And
they're all gonna
getting
be full
some
buy,
crucial
'cause,
picks.
Cypher's
Absolutely.
gonna buy enough.
Very
For
pivotal.
anything else.
SAGU closing the gap,
Can you?
keeping it manageable. They
You want me to
can
think?
win
I'm gonna,
this,
I'm
and
gonna do
it's
the one way again.
absolutely
Okay.
within their
I
grasp.
can do a fast knife here as well.
They won't use the
Big deal. They
brimstone.
have momentum. Let's see if they can use it.
We didn't get anything main.
Careful. Yeah, catwalk.
And as of right now,
It's
since
just
you
not
need
fast.
13
Catwalk.
rounds to
Tree.
win,
Cypher cam
if
was
Husson
up
Green wins
on
2
catwalk.
more rounds, they take it. But also keep in mind, you have to win by 2.
Careful,
So if the SAGU Lions can even get to 12, then that just
Watch guard,
increases
kill
the
the rest,
amount
play
that
that.
Husson has to win by. So obviously your goal is to win, but at the very least, at least stop the
We
opponent
shouldn't be
from
leaving B.
winning.
We shouldn't be leaving B. We haven't made.
No.
We
I have
haven't heard a
util.
single.
I have util.
Well, your util turned off is the thing I heard.
No, it's not turning
It's
off.
on now. I heard it, my guy.
Turret down.
They're here.
Dude, he's literally in the main.
Swarm grenade out.
He's running away.
I know.
Sundays with a pick with his Molly.
Come on site, it's fine.
Bipolar, great push.
Grim is not
Bipolar.
there.
Two.
69 though.
Spike down.
And
B.
Spike is now down.
Spike's on us. Spike's on us.
Doing a great job to
I love
hold
hearing
the
their
site.
comms and understanding what is going through their minds
Yeah.
and calling out where they are on site. Now it is up to Brimmy Cakes again.
30 seconds left.
Brimmy Capes is kind of playing back. He's usually the last one in a lot of these rounds.
Oh.
And yep, Bipolar saw him.
Bipolar with the last pick.
He literally just stood
Very
there
well
after you killed
played.
KJ.
Getting
Now
these
he's
kills.
11-10.
Yep, and now they've closed it to a
I'm not
one-round
saying
lead.
that it's turning
And
off,
they have the
that it stayed
momentum.
off. What
And
I'm
now if
saying
we
is,
look
if it
at,
turns off
right now
even
I
a
can't pull up the
second,
scoreboard
and
because
they're
I don't
waiting for
have
that,
my tab
they
equipped
will
to
be
it.
out.
But on the
So
other
to say, like,
side
if it never
of their
turns
spawn,
off,
you can see that they're
you're
going
giving
for a
you
save round. They
bad
do not have
information.
enough
It doesn't
economy
make
to
you
fully
bad at the
buy
game. It doesn't
ARs.
make you make a mistake.
So this
I'm just-
round
we need
can
to know
possibly
if
swing
it's off
SAGU
for
to an
even 1 second,
11-11.
which I
Yep.
heard it go off.
They've got the firepower.
That gives them timing.
They've got the abilities.
It
We see a
was off
lot
for
of
1
ultimates
second,
on the
but
SAGU
yeah,
side, but there are also ultimates on
Had that like small angle.
the Husson Green, so we'll see what they're able to do here.
They could have gotten angry.
We got people here. Hey, can I get one fast rotate? Not
I
after.
know.
I'll go.
Ogden, I left. I'm destroying door.
It looks like they're trying to get onto A site. But the SAGU Lions holding a really good defense, stopping them.
Ogden with the
Please
fake
check mid. I
teleport.
can't check out one.
Very smart. Trying to give the audio cue to make them feel like that the teleport came from a certain direction.
Does get flashed, and there's the eye. They are going to push into sight here now. Ogden with 2.
Ogden and Watto, great pinch into this archway of the A site.
That is
Almost
boss
getting
and
another
awesome.
one.
Both of them get pinged by the Sova dart, so they know where they are.
One enemy
Yeah, we
remaining.
still have spike. We still have spike. Yeah, relax.
Boss with 2.
I was speaking with Water. Water went in.
Right there, the last one. This Reyna player trying to get
Alright.
maybe
He has
some
spike, he has
picks, maybe
spike.
some kills
So she's in
on
one.
A.
Yes,
Yeah.
just
Stay
30
sitting here. Stay
seconds
sitting here.
left.
Just
she
in case.
grabs spike. She grabs spike. She's
Gonna go
running
to
to you.
Are you
Oh,
Oh,
and
no.
Last player standing.
Syntix
Boss
and Boss.
of 4.
Time, I
Hey
looked away
guys,
for
guys.
It's now Jericho versus Boss. A 1v1.
And Boss has the spike.
He is going to be planting. Can
10
Jericho get the
seconds
angle?
left. Spike planted.
He does
And
have
there
the
it
read.
is. Well played.
Jericho with the
Hey,
clutch.
I know it's Valorant timing. I know it's
Very
Valorant
well played by
timing,
Jericho.
but
So the only thing we
on
can see
my
there is
screen, at
that
least,
they were definitely
I
winning
saw
that kill.
Yeah.
But Boss was ready. Boss's aim is on
Yeah.
today.
Shots
Boss
were
is,
out.
I think, their
looked
highest
at
ranked
for
player on their
1
roster.
second, and then she was out. And
I can see that. Very aggressive, very bold.
No, I'm good.
And he was able to secure those picks.
Boss is good and he knows it.
Have ult.
But Jericho
You know
was
what?
able to
You know
come
what?
through
Let's not play on
with
site
that
B. Can you
pick
go
and
to
able
A
to secure it to an
after?
11-11.
Yeah, right now it's an even game.
Right here.
Jericho, can I
And
get
as of
Blackness?
right now,
Yeah,
we
they're
could
gonna-
either see these
They're
two
gonna
teams
go
kind of go back and
They're gonna
forth,
go for
or
B. They have
one of these
a lot of
teams,
ult.
if they win the next
Switch
two
sides,
rounds,
bro. I mean, I can go-
that's the game.
Don't switch sides. Don't switch sides.
And
Find
said
it to
team
go-
will be up
find it to
1-0
go to A.
over the other.
B, it's
And it looks
you're
like the
And
automatic.
now,
Husson
for the
Green.
most part, Husson Eagles will be able to fold by here.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to be moving more towards the B site here.
Back
Yep.
knife.
They're coming.
You should
SAGU
run.
Lions playing very back, very defensive.
Here
Getting
comes another
smoked off
KJ
there.
ultimate.
And the bipolar,
Nice.
wow,
And
getting
Jericho.
kills.
Thank you.
There
Wow.
are picks everywhere right now.
It is just a madhouse on this B site,
One
but
enemy remaining.
luckily keeping the lead. And there it
There we
is.
go.
Really well played by the SAGU Lions. This is huge momentum because the Husson Green spent almost all their money in this last round. They're super low in their economy. They were really banking on the win on that round. And now that they have such limited resources, they won't be able to buy the biggest guns. They won't be able to buy all their abilities. And SAGU Lions, having won with most of their players alive, they've got big guns. They've got the abilities, and they've even got some ultimates running around.
Yeah, for most of the players, I only see possibly 3 from the cameras right now. I see one person wearing a Bulldog,
Yeah, that's
which
the best
is
plan, honestly.
still a good AR, but
Retake
it's
every
not
site,
top
retake
the
every site.
line.
As of right now, we'll see what we're able to do. If the SAGU Lions can win this round, they take game 1.
I have alarm bot for.
Are we seeing some mid presence here again?
Hold on. Chris,
Go,
I'm
go.
coming over here with you.
Yeah, I'm backing up out of B.
Blocking
Hold
sight.
across, hold across.
Pushing
Hold across.
through the middle.
Yeah, I hear one. I hear one.
Ready? Peek. 3, 2, 1, now.
And look at that, the
Bipolar with one.
coordinated push. Oh, and
But
unfortunately
Austin
not
and
enough.
Lance able to pick both of them off.
Run is 3 as well. Run is 3 as well.
Boss
Oh,
took on to Ogden.
Ogden not able to get the kill.
Just mid.
And right now it's a 2 versus
They're
4.
going through market. Yeah, they're going through market.
They're gonna hit B.
Yeah, they're going B.
Syntax with the pick.
Killing the lurk. They're killing the lurk. No, they're not here. Asher.
No, B.
B.
Okay, now they're going back. They close the door to B. It's a 3v2. Jericho with the pick on the Lance box. That's spike
Great
down.
kill.
With 2 on the
Wow.
boss. And now it's just Austin versus 2.
Pop hold market. Pop hold market.
Wow, it's 2 versus 1. This is huge.
Jericho, is he going to be able to get Austin gets the pick?
Actually not, but and there it is.
And Austin
Oh,
with the clutch.
Austin clutching it.
And
What do we do?
now it's
Switching
going to go
sides.
into overtime.
Yep.
So now in overtime, every team is going to be switching every other round. So we will see SAGU going from attack to defending every round until one team wins by 2 points.
I'm gonna fight mid.
It is now just not to the first to 13 anymore. If both teams hit 12 to 12 and it goes to overtime,
We should all take mid.
the
bro.
opposing team has to
We're
win
not
2 in a
holding
row.
at all.
I'm gonna opt then.
So this is going to be
Let's
really
wait to see if
important.
they defend
Momentum's
the
going to be a
smoke.
huge
If
thing
not,
here.
If the smoke's not here,
Yes.
then it's
At least for
probably
overtime
usually
now,
mid.
each team
I'll
gets
opt
the
there, 'cause I need someone to
5,000
break the
credits
thing
each round, so
and-
they're able to
I
buy,
will-
say, a Vandal or a Phantom, heavy shields, and all
Yeah,
their
we're holding it.
abilities.
I'm smoking up the actual.
Yeah,
entrance
luckily
stuff.
they've got
Let
the
me jump
money
into
to
first.
make things work. It's, as of now, all about strategy and skill, and we can lock it down.
Jericho here going for the op,
Did they smoke it?
which means he has no armor and no drone.
KO looked like he was right side pizza, maybe.
Wait,
Sure, y'all are watching
Okay.
Cubby. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we're
die.
watching.
Hoping for a kill through
back.
middle.
Okay, they smoked it.
Again, playing very patient.
Yeah, someone's still cubby. I'm gonna check behind us, Jericho.
Not being too
I don't have an
aggressive.
angle, just-
SAGU
have
Lions
Cubby.
playing very, very safe right
We're
now.
watching it. Don't worry.
And the smoke makes it difficult for them to
Yeah,
push
so-
through this middle area safely.
No.
And even the Husson Green team playing
Hey, that's
very
what-
patient.
Yeah, they're not.
Not a lot of movement.
I'm with you right now, Chris.
That didn't get me.
Good smoke or good. Nice.
Right now, we're seeing the
They are
bipolar.
slowly pushing up through tree here.
Can you keep walking?
Bipolar,
As soon as he hits
and I
this
believe it's
tripwire-
Watto.
Kevin here.
Cypher.
They will know that they are there.
No, don't worry about it. Don't
Last
worry
smoke.
about it right
Use
now.
their last smoke.
Cypher garden.
They're going to push Ogden with the opening pick. Boss with the trade.
30 seconds left.
Watto going to site. Boss with... That was the same one. Second eye going out. Boss is under dice, which is those two boxes.
One suppressed.
Left
Reina's the only one
Right,
inside.
you gotta go. Go. Over one more.
Reina dice.
There's the pick on
Spike
Reyna.
down A.
And they have to plant, which
seconds
they
left.
will.
Spike planted.
It's now
Jericho.
Watto and Jericho.
I got tree. One's coming through tree.
Yep.
Watto and Jericho playing smart, trying to hold this tree area.
He does hear one heaven. He does call it out. Ooh, scary.
One enemy remaining.
Jericho, now it is just Pigeon Mac.
One suppressed.
Last player standing.
Pigeon
Pigeon
Mac
Mac.
versus Jericho. He's going to wait to try to see if he has to defuse. And he's able to get the
Wow,
kill.
great job by Jericho.
Jericho, what an amazing pick.
One of the strategies that attacking
Switching
teams
sides.
will do, or defending teams will do, is as the spike is about to go off and it's a 1 versus 1 situation, they will fake the set. They will start diffusing the spike, but not fully diffuse it. They'll start diffusing and then immediately back off, hoping to bait the defending player into peeking and maybe getting a kill. But Jericho there, playing patient, knowing that this is a strategy, waited for the second audio cue, and then knowing that that was an actual diffuse, went in, got the kill.
Because when you do hear the certain bits of the spike, you can hear that the spike beeping will change. This means that when Watto called out, she needs to stick it. That means that she has to hold it down or the spike will explode. So at that time, Jericho was fully able to peek and get the kill because she wasn't able to do anything in response.
Yeah.
I saw Brim mid. Oh, they pushed all the way up.
And as they're pushing towards middle, Lance getting a kill on Ogden. Now, right now, if the SAGU Lions can win this round, they will win the game and lead by 2 with Syntix and Jericho each getting a pick. This puts them in state of advantage, and if Husson Green ends up taking the win here, it'll essentially reset the game, and then both teams will have to try and win by 2. But right now, Watto playing very patient.
There go the smokes.
Peeking,
Heaven
not
is totally
dying.
out.
Oh, no, I'm throwing knife for hell here. Reina, help!
Trying to spam through the door.
Trying to span through the door, see if he can get a pick.
Missed no help.
They're going to initiate.
Reina under
Boss on the kill.
Boss
main.
and Bipolar, great
Dead,
kill.
dead. One main.
Great smoke by Bipolar.
2v3.
You missed.
I'm watching.
Now it's going to be hard for
Molly.
them to try and push through.
Enemy remaining.
Wow, Bipolar aggressive.
Being very aggressive. Are they able to get the spike though?
No, we didn't. Wait, yeah, we did.
They're able to get it.
Wow.
There was
Defenders
0.4 seconds left. That was down to
That
the
was so
buzzer.
close.
And SAGU Lions down with
Good
the
job. Good
very first map win.
Wow.
Bipolar being very aggressive there, picking up those 2 kills that were needed in order for Syntix to actually hit the defuse.
Oh my goodness gracious, that was so tense.
Very
So
tense.
there is a certain amount of time it takes for you to defuse the spike. And, I mean, look at that boss with 29 kills, but Ogden, 27, Jericho, 27. All of them playing really, really well. And as you can see, Jericho, 7 kills, only 15 deaths. Those are that KDA bar that you're seeing. That first number is kills, second number is deaths, third number is assists, is when you help someone else get a kill. And as you can see, that average combat score is how well you were doing in these firefights. Very well played by both teams. Very, very well played. But wow, that was so tense. The thing about planning the spike is it takes time to defuse it. And once you start defusing it, that timer doesn't stop. That timer keeps going. So if you don't start defusing it at a certain point, it's basically over. It's basically lost. And you could hear them saying, like, oh, we're not going to get it. We're not going to get it, because it was so close. But 0.4 seconds, and the SAGU Lions able to take the Game 1 win. And now SAGU Lions are 1-0 against Husson Green. And let's hope they can keep this momentum. That was huge.
Yes, very huge. And so the next map that we're going to is going to be Pearl.
Okay.
It's going to be our map 2 when
Pearl.
we get back from their break.
What are some strategies in Pearl that these SAGU Lions, Husson Green teams would employ? What are some key differences between the last map and this map?
So with this map, one thing they'll see in particular is that mid control, the very middle of the map, is very crucial, especially for Pearl, because the middle of the map has so many access points to all the different parts. If one team has mid control, they control a lot of the game. So you'll see a few teams getting very aggressive for that. The other thing that's probably very important is different site controls. The sites are very big and open, so you'll see a lot more longer sight lines being held.
Absolutely.
Aggressive picks, and again, the defending team, you'll see them trying to hold the different access points for mid. And if they're able to secure those picks, it turns the tide really quick.
Absolutely. And eventually we're going to be getting into this next game. Again, they have to do all of the prerequisite things, getting into the lobby, testing network and things like that. But very soon we will be into this next game. And I'm very excited. I think the SAGU Lions played very well. Ogden getting multiple double, triple kills, being the leading scorer, I guess, the kill leader for the SAGU Lions. And every single one of them just doing a really phenomenal job.
I think every single person on the SAGU teams really performed well in the role that they were playing.
Absolutely. Speaking of roles, in Apex, these different agents or characters that you can play each satisfy or fulfill or are a part of one of 4 roles. Clutch, would you mind going into a little detail about what these 4 roles are and what they mean?
Yeah, so in Valorant, there are 4 different roles. So we have duelists, controllers, initiators, and sentinels. So first we'll go off with the duelists. They're pretty basic. Their abilities are meant to do damage or to get them onto sites, able to secure picks and get kills. So that was the Jet or the Reyna on the other team. Their whole thing was to try and get picks, which obviously you can see Boss did pretty well.
Yeah.
29 kills.
Very, very well.
So that's the duelist role, is just to get in and get the picks. Next is going to be controllers. That's something that Ogden or Brimmy Cakes was playing. They play the smoke characters that cut off lines of sight and can control the map. They're able to make different things and allow new areas of play that cut off certain lines of sight or certain angles that teams will try to hold. Next, we have initiators. That's something like that Watto was playing with the KO. They are the information gatherers. That's also something that Jericho would play. So you see with something like the Recon Dart, where you're able to ping where opponents were on the map, or KO Knife, where it was able to ping them and also stop their abilities. So they're able to assist with getting onto site and also the biggest information gatherers. And then finally, we have Sentinels. That is KJ and Cypher is what we've seen on the map. These are specially made to lock down sites and also keep flanks at bay. So you'll see with KJ, she has her turret, she has her alarm bot, and she has her mollies that she can place down before the round. And that's to make sure that she can lock up certain sight lines, certain angles. If certain teams push a certain way, they can lock it out. It's also with her ultimate. It totally locks down a site. So either the team has to leave, kill the ultimate and her, or they get locked out.
Yeah, lots of strategy involving these 4 different kinds of agents that can happen. Now, just to reiterate from earlier on, there are different abilities that can have different effects on the opponent. And I'm just a brief description. Flash, you blind the opponent, they are unable to see. On their screen, it'll look like almost like an image that pops up that kind of stops them from seeing. Whereas with us, you just see this little icon because we're in a special spectator view. But for them, they are not able to see anything. For smokes, they're these like a smoke bomb. It cuts off line of sight. And then you have walls, which they can be actual physical walls. They can be walls of fire, walls of poison, damage walls, anything like that. You also have Molly's or Molotov cocktails, if any of you know what that is. Basically, it's an ability that creates a zone of damage that lingers for a set amount of time, so that if the opponent tries to walk through, they're going to take damage for walking through that area. And there are a couple other little ones scattered here and there, like one of the characters has a bow and arrow that shoots a giant death beam through walls, and fun, fancy things like that. And the more you kind of watch the game, you'll pick up on it, but a lot of times these basic core conditional effects like blinding, which is known as a flash, or smoke bombs, or walls, or Molotovs, or things like that. These play a huge part in locking down certain areas of the map, denying entryway into certain spots, and just allowing your team to be victorious. And hopefully we will get this next game going soon. And Clutch, as we're sitting here, game 2's coming up. We've got a lot of things to think about. SAGU Lions did a really great job. They were holding angles. They were getting really good picks. They were able to effectively execute really well-placed pinches, which is when you and an opponent are flanking and it can be multiple, and you're all attacking at the same time, creating basically this zone of death for the opponent, which can be very game-changing. We saw that happen multiple times. And other things like that, what is a good way to kind of practice these aspects with a team? Maybe what are maybe some practice routines? How do you get that ball rolling? What are some things to look for when you practice? Since you being on the Valorant team, what are some of the routines that you guys would get into?
Yeah, so obviously the first thing is scrims. Scrims is a big thing. The Valorant team, especially Watto, he's reaching out to a bunch of different schools, and we'll get one scrim each week before their match. So they usually play on Monday nights against another school to practice certain things. Watto usually before the week will be like, hey, we're scrimming against this school, and when we're in this game, let's practice on X, Y, and Z. So for their last scrim, they said, let's focus on retaking sites, let's play things slow, and really perfect some of the things that we need to on defense. Another thing they do sometimes when we're just in a random custom game just by ourselves, us 5, we'll have 2 attackers and 3 defenders and 2 attackers. I just said that wrong. Sorry, 2 defenders and 3 attackers. So the 3 attackers will be pushing onto a site and planting spike. And the defender's job, them being lower in number, is to retake the site, pick certain angles, get the picks, and then defuse the bomb. So that allows us not only one to understand what it's going to be like to be in a number situation, and being stressed. Stress is a big thing.
Yeah.
You too.
Absolutely.
And here we go. We're going in the second
Wow,
map.
we are walking right into
Well, we're
the
going to
second
cut that
map.
short.
Yeah, we are. But that was pretty good. Practicing numbers advantage, numbers disadvantage.
As well as stress. Stress is a big thing that can get into your head a lot in this game.
But as of right now, the 2 teams are picking the different characters they will play. And as we can see here, we have Pigeon Mac, Brimmy Cakes, Boss, and Austin, but the player that was previously there was replaced by Pow Smash. And for us, we're sticking to our 5.
Yes, Justin Fox was switched out for Pow Smash for this map.
Now we are hopping into the map Pearl. And as you said before, the middle of the map, referred to as mid. Very important.
Yep, so on our team, we'll see Syntax on the Viper, Watto on the Fade, Jericho and Bipolar on Duelist, Jet and Raze, and then Ogden on the Cypher. Then on the opposing team, we see Cypher, Reyna, Viper, Sage, which is the one that's Rez that we were talking about in the first map, and Sova.
All right, and that Sage can play a pivotal role in this with an ultimate ability that allows you to revive a teammate. That can change a game. That can change an entire round and give you an advantage. And some strategies that I've even seen employed personally is even if you've already won the round, to revive a teammate so that they keep their guns and save their economy. Stuff like that can be absolutely game-changing. But because it's the first round, all of them are starting with the same amount of money. And it's up to them what kind of weapons they want to get, if they want to spend anything at all. And just take because all of them receive a starting pistol, and they receive 1 ability for free that they all receive. And so we will see how they are able to lock this down.
Each team starts out with 800. And now we see them pushing very fast onto B.
Getting a very strong B push.
Pow smash, first contact.
Spike
And they
planted.
are going to plant. So both Viper walls cutting off long lines of sight here. What a wonderful Sova dart, hitting both.
Yeah, that was a really good Sova dart.
Boss with the pick on Wado, who's coming from behind. Jericho also in the flank, gets picked off. Now it is 2v5.
Last player standing.
And alright, they were able,
Wow.
Ogden was able to get a pick on the Pigeon Mac, but
Pow smash.
Pow Smash coming in with a Pow
Wow.
first round.
Absolutely.
terrible.
That was great. I loved it. Pow
But-
smash getting 4 kills in just round 1. Incredibly impressive. Absolutely carrying his weight, showing that he deserves to be here. And we're seeing Syntix, the Viper character that Syntix is playing, has this ability where he shoots out this line of poison devices that, when activated, create this wall of poison that can inhibit the enemy's view, and also, I believe, has a I don't know if it's a slowing mechanic or a...
So with her poison, it blocks off line of sight and also decreases the amount of health that someone has while they're standing in it. It's
Spike
called
planted.
decay. But once they are outside of it, it slowly regains itself back.
As we can see, SAGU having a hard time trying to take this site. The
It is a
bipolar,
1v5.
the bipolar being the last one alive.
Boss is coming through. He hears it. He's able to get Boss. Is he able to get a second one? No, Brimmy Cakes.
Unfortunately
With the
not.
refrag.
And Brimmy Cakes going from Brimstone to Sage. We'll see what kind of a difference that will make this game, but now the SAGU Lions having a little bit of money, and it seems like they're actually able to get a decent buy this round.
It looks like all of them will be able to buy here fully, yes.
And that is going to help here, especially on a map that is so reliant on the middle, covering angles, being able to rotate to different sites quickly depending on what happens. And again, there are only 2 bomb sites. Some maps can have 3, but this one only has 2. And so...
Which, if Husson does win this second map, we will be going to the third map, which is Haven, and that one actually has 3 sites on it. Yeah, usually one thing you'll see with this map is both teams will start on a pistol round, and they'll pick the certain pistols that they want. Then, depending on which team wins, say the winning team, they usually force buy, which is buy the best guns they have, so Spectres and all that. While the losing team saves. They buy almost nothing. So in that way, in the third round, the losing team is able to buy full guns, and the winning team goes on to a econ round, or a bonus round. They can buy full guns, but they keep the lesser ones to see if they can take the better guns away from the losing team and keep economy for the fourth round.
Planted.
The SAGU Lions hoping for the retake.
Jericho with the first pick on Pigeon Mac. That was the very first pick. They were able to push on the site and plant before any picks happened. Boss with the pick on Ogden, Syntix on Pow Smash. A lot of trades here, and Polar and Jericho is now a 1v2 versus Boss.
Wow.
And Wado getting the last kill.
Great job on the SAGU Lions
1v1.
retaking that site. That's kind of a tricky spot, but they
That
played
was
that
a
really
wonderful
well.
retake.
Yeah.
See, that's one of the things that I was talking about, where they practice certain retakes and playing slow with other teams so they can replicate it, these kind of situations, in an actual game for ECAC.
Very well played by the SAGU Lions, and that gives them a lead. They've got some momentum. They've got the money. They've got the economy. We'll see if they're able to keep this lead with buying abilities and charging their ultimates and hopefully using them to get a big enough lead ahead to get some breathing room and take this game too. And Clutch, as of right now, how do you... These SAGU Lions playing really good. You know, those first 2 rounds were unfortunate, but now getting some momentum. How do you feel like they're playing?
It's pretty early to say, but I think that retake was very good in my eyes. I think they did really well. So we're going to see how they go here. They're being very aggressive on B.
Wow, great
Polar
job
with
by
one,
Bipolar, but
the dash leads into Pow Smash, but it gets traded off by Syntix. Another trades, 2 trades. Now it's up to Jericho and Ogden.
And it's a 2v2 situation.
Last
Oh,
Now it's
unfortunately.
a 1v2, but he got Austin very low.
Yeah, he's...
Now, do they know that he's on the flank? We'll have to see. Brimmy Case is looking that way,
enemy
but he looks away!
bomb buddy out.
The boom bot coming out. The nade. He walks into it.
Oh, and
But Austin is-
getting the kill. But
He does
unfortunately...
get the kill after death, but since the spike was already planted, Husson will take that point.
Yeah, and unfortunately, even if the spike hadn't have been planted, because Austin got the kill before Jericho, it would have gone to Husson Green. But, I mean,
That
you're
is
shutting
correct.
down their economy. There's a little bit of
They were able to
benefit
take
there.
the guns there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Husson Green, they've been winning rounds repeatedly. They've got the economy. They're able to buy really strong weapons, and unfortunately, SAGU losing that round, that was tough.
And now we'll see SAGU here going into another save round to make sure they have enough economy for the next one.
Yes, and as we're saying here, the save is the opposite of full buy, where as you save your money, and you don't buy weapons. The problem is the opponent probably has better weapons than you, and you're gonna have to either really hit your shots or be really smart about how you play.
Yep, so at this round you'll see, like with Watto here, he bought a Sheriff, so they buy enough money and shield, well, they buy enough with their gun, shields, and abilities to make sure they can still have a fighting chance, but also they have enough to buy a really good gun, an AR, for the next round.
It looks like they were originally going to push onto the A site, but it seems
They are rotating
that
out.
Husson Green is rotating.
Hogging here. He's able to get one. He's almost good for two.
Almost
but
got two.
That Frenzy, just a little bit less ammo than the regular guns. But he was able to get one there. And now we have the revive.
And that's, as we were talking about before.
Sage's ultimate.
So Sage bringing back that player. It's now a 5v4.
Boss the pick on Syntix. We're seeing a little bit of a late rotate here.
SAGU
3v5.
trying to do their best to maybe retake this site, but it's in a tricky spot.
Planted.
Pigeon Mac getting a pick off on Watto. And Sage is able to put up, is one of the few characters that can put up an actual physical wall,
Player standing.
which can be very hard to deal with. You can shoot it down, but it takes a lot of ammo, it takes a lot of time,
Yup.
and sometimes it's just not worth it.
Now it's bipolar. He's going to see if he can get one kill. Take away one Vandal, but no, Boss is able to swing and get the kill.
And Husson Green, all 5 lived, all 5 keep their guns, and SAGU continues to get pushed back by the momentum of Husson Green, but because they saved this last round,
They are able to now stabilize with full guns.
yes, and now they are meeting at an even playing field. Both teams have the best of the best weapons, all the abilities they need. So we'll see if SAGU Lions can play smart, find the picks, flank the opponent,
Stay away.
get control of the middle of the map, as we talked about. It's very pivotal here.
Yep, so we'll see 2 players going through mid here and the rest trying to go through A here.
And Watto playing more back, pretty safe. A lot of patient play style, but it looks like they are slowly pushing
There goes
forward.
the Viper wall up for A.
And
On with the
Ogden
cam.
with his camera.
Boss inching forward. He's able to hop over. He's able to get the pick. He does. Is he going to notice the Cypher? It's also there.
Oh, and
Austin
unfortunately
with the
not.
But he is able to get the ultimate off, so now the rest of his team knows where the teammates are.
Yes. Ogden's
Syntax from behind getting the pick on Austin.
very well played.
And now it looks like Husson is actually going to be rotating over to B site.
Yeah, considering most of the SAGU Lions were on A site.
Syntax just called it out, and now they're going to go ahead and rotate over.
I want to go ahead.
Welcome to my world.
And as you can hear, that loud
I have eye for inside.
audio voice line was, I believe, Viper on Husson Green's side, using their ultimate ability, which creates this big area of this green smoke where if you go inside of it, you lose a lot of it reduces your life and makes you easier to kill.
And it stays up as long as Viper is inside it.
Which can be very dangerous to deal with.
Here comes the ultimate. He is not able to secure a kill there. firing through.
Player standing.
House Smash, low
He's
HP.
there and I didn't kill him.
It's now up to Watto.
154.
Unfortunately, it wasn't enough. Husson Green winning another round. I mean, this is what we saw last time. SAGU Lions struggling with the start, but if they can get some momentum, if they can build that arsenal, build that economy, get some strong weapons, and as you can see right now, Syntix with his ultimate's ready to go. He also has that big Viper pit that we were talking about. Let's see if he can use it. And as right now, the SAGU Lions continuing to reinforce this middle area of the map.
Didn't dug out on A here.
Hoping to
Alright, so it looks like
establish...
they're going through to A
Pop orb
again.
immediately. Yeah, they're here, they're pushing now. I'm sitting dugout. They're already on site.
And as we can see, as they're pushing, Watto telling his team where the opponents are.
I'll find you.
And Husson Green playing a very slow, very patient push. And Watto
There.
trying to get a kill. Not able to.
Dude. I'm not gonna flank this round.
Spike
Not able to
planted.
get a pick there.
Okay.
How in the is that
You're crouching.
3 headshots?
Last player standing.
And unfortunately, Pow
Bug out.
Smash getting a pick on Syntix. And right now, it's a 5 versus 1. Jericho, the last one alive for the SAGU Lions. This is a really tricky spot to be in because up until this point, and there it is, the flawless win for Husson Green. When the screen says flawless, it means the team won without losing a single one of their own players. So Husson Green won that round with all 5 of their teammates alive.
Flank.
It's
Here's
a
our
really
flank. It's
tricky
perfect
spot for
in this game.
SAGU to be
Nobody
in
watching it.
because right now they still don't have a whole lot of
Yeah,
money.
nobody watching.
Still
And then
don't
we
have a
flanked
whole lot
here
of
twice and
economy.
it worked.
The problem is like it's working. It's just everyone's dying on site.
Yeah,
There
but
is a
y'all,
good-
there was only one person alive.
And as you can
whenever I
hear, they're
decided to
doing
walk up.
what they can to communicate, talk about what's happening on the site, how they're going to adapt, and hopefully take this next round win. But as you can see, Jericho expecting a push onto the A site, not getting anything there, but there's a big push onto the B site right now. And as we can see, Jericho rotating over to the B site. Boss getting a pick on Ogden. Syntix dropping his Viper Pit ultimate. If anyone steps in there, it'll be bad news for them. But
The Pigeon Mac with the pick,
unfortunately,
so now it's going to go down.
Player
Pigeon
standing.
Mac getting a kill on Syntix
Spike
and Pow
planted.
Smash.
Now up to Jericho with the Odin.
Long.
And Pow Smash knew where he was going to come from. He gets the headshot. Now Husson leads 7-1.
That is another flawless
And here comes the
victory.
timeout.
Yeah, this is very much needed. SAGU getting a little bit of a reset. As you can see, they're focusing up, talking about game plans, what happened.
Able to recollect, seeing why they're at a 6-point deficit. And hopefully by the end of this, they'll be able to come back out just like last time and start gaining those points again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the SAGU Lions, they are able to carry momentum so well. If they can get some kind of foothold, that's the kicker. It's getting some kind of lead in. They can find that groove, sit in it. I mean, we saw in the last round, or the last game. Once they started to find those angles, get those picks, play smart, communicate, they got this. It's just mental game is a huge part of this.
Very true. Sometimes that mental reset is all we need, and that's definitely what we use timeouts for, to help recollect ourselves and really understand our game plan.
Now, how many timeouts does each team get?
Each team has 2 timeouts.
Okay. And as we can see, last round, SAGU using one. I mean,
It's
last
2
game.
per map.
2 per map. Okay.
So usually only 1 or 2 is used by, well, 1 per each team. Usually most teams don't use both.
As you can see, SAGU Lions using their timeout. Try and reset, refocus.
And now I think they're ready. And now Husson going again for the A push. Now all 5 of them actually going to see going down long here instead of opting for 1 to go middle. They did use Fade ult, and I think it marked all 5.
Mark 2.
There's another mark.
And in this game of abilities and different things, a mark is when you're able to see another player or just know that they're there. So a lot of these agents are able to throw these devices and abilities that can mark the opponents so that you know if there are opponents over there or not.
So it looks like Husson actually faked going to B, but they're actually back at A now. About to start a push. Here it comes. They're going to clear out Bipolar and get the opening pick. Now they're both rotating back.
Spike planted.
Jericho taking out Art. This is a save round for them.
And they're not working with these really high-powered guns, but they're going to do everything they can. Syntix getting
They're going to do
pick.
what they can to take as many of the bigger guns as they can. Jericho flying in. He knows where Boss is. He's going to try and go for it, but he sees the cam. Boss with 4. Is he going to be able to get an ace, possibly?
If Boss can get this last kill, that'll be an ace for him. An ace is when one player kills all 5 of the opposing team by themselves.
No, he's able to kill Boss.
Ogden shutting that down, but Pow Smash getting a pick off of Ogden. He was low from the exchange with Boss, but
they were able to take 2 Vandals from that team. They were able to take 2 ARs.
which is good. That kind of hinders their economy a little bit, sets them back. And if the SAGU Lions can get a little bit of momentum here, we could see a swing.
Now almost everyone except for Ogden is full buying. Ogden just because his abilities, his tripwires, his cages, all of that can be more impactful. So he's going to opt for a lesser powered gun because of how powerful his utility can be. Now it looks like they're setting up for B here. The wall already going out. Now they're going to start quite fast. All right, Bipolar with the first pick. They're clearing out halls because that's usually where he sits. And it seems like they're slowly backing away.
Nowhere to run.
Brimmy and Cypher both walking back towards A, it looks like. The Cypher does have spikes, so it looks like they might be doing the rotate, as all of SAGU's players now are on B. Syntix able to get Brimmy Cakes on the flank. It is now just the Cypher as they continue to roll out. Water getting the last pick on Pigeon Mac. It is now just the last 2 players who seem to be going towards mid.
30 seconds left.
It looks like they are now fully committing to go A. They're going to go through Art. Or Jericho might be our first form of contact. They only have 12 seconds left, so they got to plant right here and right now, which they do. Jericho coming through secret.
Spike planted. 1 enemy remaining.
Watto with 1. Gets the pick. And Bipolar with the last one. And there we go, SAGU getting their second round win. Now we're going to be going round 11. There are 2 rounds left. I think SAGU's going to be hoping for a 4-8 half here. Hopefully dropping no more rounds and taking these last 2 to go into their attacking side.
And with that, SAGU getting another round. Let's hope they carry this. This is what we were talking about. This is all they need. If they can get that foothold, we'll see if they're able to take this round win and move it forward into the following rounds. But right now, SAGU trying to focus their attention in the middle and more towards A, believe it or not. I mean, the Husson Green team has done a lot of A pushes, but it actually looks like they're opting for a mid.
Ogden's able to see that.
Wow,
Syntix with 1.
Great kill.
Trade.
Where is everyone hiding?
Ogden is able to get his ultimate off.
Which is very important. It allows them to see where the opponents are through walls. But Sage getting the revive. Power
Jericho
smash.
Watto
I know
on the flank.
where you are.
And the Bipolar getting a kill on Boss.
It is now both duelists versus 3, 2v3. They have made their presence on site known. And they are going to plant.
Spike planted.
We'll see if SAGU can retake this side. It is a 2v3, but they've practiced this. They've done the repetitions. We'll see if they're able to hold it down.
We'll see. Pigeon Mac is holding this corner here. Will Jericho check it? He doesn't need to. He moves too early.
Ready. Here comes the party.
Here comes the ultimate. Is he going to be... Oh, no. There's a Sage wall in the way.
Unfortunate.
Is he going to be able to get his ultimate off still if he breaks it? Oh, no. Just missing the timer. He knows... He's able to get the pick on Austin, but he wasn't able to half it.
But he didn't get the half. So
I thought it was just about half for... it looked like it.
So the way that this spike works, there is a line in the middle of the diffuse bar, and if you can get it up to that first bar, the next time you go to diffuse it again, it will start at that bar. We thought that he had got it to that halfway point, but unfortunately he did not, and there wasn't enough time, and that is a really big blow.
Maybe it was at 49% of that 50 because it looked real close, but that is very unfortunate. All right, well, now SAGU's going to be looking for the 9-3.
Yeah, let's hope. I believe they can do it. They reset Husson Green's economy, and now they have a little bit of momentum still. Even though they may have lost the round per the game, they did get some good kills. They were playing really strong, and right now the Bipolar with his ultimate.
And they respond with the Viper ultimate. Syntax with the first pick on the Brimmy Cakes.
And
another trade. Right now SAGU is up on numbers. Pow with a pick. Boss with one as well, and now there's a 2v3.
Get him.
Syntax, there we go with the pick on Boss. It's now
Great
2v2
pick
again.
there.
Breaking the wall. Is he going to be able to secure the kills? As you can see, Jericho's now at 1 HP, which is the lowest you can be while in the field.
So one itty-bitty little hit will do it,
and there it is.
Unfortunately, Pow Smash and Austin having the angles, and right now...
It is now 2-10 at the half.
It is looking pretty hard for SAGU. Luckily, it's a full reset. After 12 rounds, they switch from attacking to defending, defending to attacking. And when they switch rounds, they all go back to 800 money, points, dollars?
Yes, 800 credits.
Credits? Okay, cool. They go down. Everyone resets down to 800 credits. And they all start with the starting pistol. They all start with their basic ability. And from there, they can decide what they want to go for, what they want to buy. And it's a good reset. And if SAGU can win this round 1 of the new half, we could see a tide swing.
I definitely think the SAGU Alliance can come out here on attack. We just have to see how they play their mid and what their comms are going to look like, how they are planning things out. Here we go.
And them trying to push through
You
middle.
can already see some mid presence.
They're blind with fear.
Cage trigger.
They're playing really well.
Ogden might get the first pick here. Yes, he does on Brimmy Cakes.
Ogden getting a great pick in mid. That puts it at a 5v4. Putting a lot of pressure on this site here.
Auto coming around. He's able to get Boss.
Spike is down.
But
Have the spike.
Austin with another. Now stabilizing it to a 3v3.
Spike planted.
They have to be careful here, but they have a good aim. Austin with another one.
Austin getting
Austin
another
with 2.
kill.
And now the cross.
Player standing.
And
Pigeon Mac.
Pigeon Mac.
So now just up to Ogden and
Wow.
Austin with a kill.
Austin checking his angles. SAGU had a really good push at the start, but unfortunately, Austin, Pigeon Mac, placing their shots, doing really good in these pistol rounds. These pistol rounds are on lock for Husson Green. And right now, if Husson Green can take the next 2 rounds, that'll be it for game 2.
It is 2-11, so right now we can see that SAGU is forcing their guns, which is they're buying as much as they can because they don't want to possibly risk this being a 2-12.
Yeah, that would be a very scary
They
situation.
need to stabilize here, buy the guns they can to see if they can stabilize their economy here. Take guns and possibly make it 11-3 and get the guns they need to.
And here they are, holding mid and more towards B, it looks like.
Still waiting.
And SAGU trying to go for what looks like a B push.
Foul smash here, but Bipolar is able to get the frag,
Blocking sight.
picking up a Spectre. But gets picked by Austin.
Austin holding the site really well,
Wado was able to see Pigeon Mac.
but it not doing enough damage.
Is now up to Syntix and Jericho.
Last player
He has the Marshal. He gets one.
Spike down B.
He gets
Oh,
two.
getting a second kill.
I have the spike.
50 seconds on the clock.
So maybe see if he's going to try and see if the team's going to make him rotate. But I think they are set with him staying here. Oh,
Seeing if he can get a pick here. Playing slow.
both players are moving off. I think he rotated.
They
They're
think
moving
he,
through mid right here.
Yes,
Jericho
they-
playing very quiet here. He's going to go ahead and try and plant now that they are fully off site.
Yeah, they assumed that he had moved over towards
All right, now that the
towards
sound
A
was
side,
made,
but yeah, now they know.
Spike planted.
now they know and they are moving back. He's going to move to Halls here. Jericho can clutch this up.
But
But Brimmy
unfortunately,
Cakes with the headshot.
Brimmy Cakes doing a really good job getting the kill on Jericho and not being enough. And here we have Husson Green, 12
2-12.
rounds, 2-12, showing a really strong performance this game too, and just not giving
Match
the SAGU
point.
Lions even an inch of momentum.
Now, what team ace means is that each player on the team got one kill.
And now they, essentially, the SAGU Lions have to force buy, where they buy the best things they can with the money they have, because, I mean, if they lose this, that's game 2.
Yep, so we'll see Bulldogs, Spectres, Ares.
All these weapons they'll get the job done, but they're definitely not as strong as
Bipolar
the...
being able to buy the most being the Bulldog, which is still a very viable gun. But if the Husson Eagles didn't actually full buy guns here, which they didn't, SAGU can stabilize here because Husson didn't full buy. They were saving it for next round.
Jericho getting a pick on boss, Austin trading kills. When you trade a kill, it's you get a kill right after one on your team was just killed.
Powell gets a kill with his Molly.
And we're just seeing back and
now a
forth,
3v3.
trade after trade.
But Plant is down.
Last player
Oh, and
standing.
Powell smash in
unfortunately,
from behind. It's now just up to Watto. He gets one. He gets
wow,
two.
Watto with the double kill. It is
So
now
him and
one
Powell
versus,
smash.
one
I think
versus
he's
one.
going to try and wait.
But
He's able to get it.
Watto-
He swings out right at the time as she throws her Molly.
Wow, great
What
job.
a clutch from Watto.
Phenomenal job. Watto keeping them alive. 3-12. Giving them a little bit of room.
And allowing them to get another round. Now they have to be
There's a
very
chance.
careful here because, well, now that we see on the other team, Husson is now able to full buy. We can see a couple weapons coming out from SAGU, but for the most part, it still looks like they need to save.
Yeah, most of their teammates had died that last round, so they had to rebuy their weapons, and unfortunately, that means you've got to spend what little money you have.
But we will be going into this with, it looks like 2 or 3 Bulldogs, which, again, are very viable.
And now, Watto dropping his ult.
Brimmy with the first kill on Ogden. They're going to push into the site.
They were able to close it off
Bipolar
really
pushing
well.
up, very aggressive, taking space, but Boss,
Holding his own.
they do get Plant down, and now they are backing out of the site, and they're going to play this for long. Watto getting picked. It's now just up to Syntix and Jericho. Jericho with his ultimate. Is he able to find any? No, Boss kills him before the ult can pop.
And
Syntix with one,
there
and
it
Pitch and
is.
Mac with the last one, and that is going to be map 2.
That's going to be game 2.
Game 2, 13-3.
Defenders win.
Unfortunately, the SAGU Lions were not able to find their momentum, to find their groove, but hopeful for
Now
game
that
3.
map was very different from the first one that went to 14-12. Now we're 3-13. So there's definitely a power shift.
Absolutely.
And Husson now feeling the groove and understanding that map, I think, maybe a little bit more.
Absolutely. And, I mean, last game we saw Ogden, 27 kills. The Bipolar, 26 kills. Right now, they are actually the 2 lowest scorers right now.
It was harder to find kills, especially on that map. So we are going to be going to our third map, Haven. And that one has 3 sites, A, B, and C. It's a very open and large map. And a lot of chances for outplayed. I definitely know that SAGU loves Haven. So let's see how this map goes.
Yeah, let's hope for the best. I would say that considering their performance, game 1, they've got it in them. It's very possible, very attainable. It's not far-fetched, and, I mean, Husson Green doing a great job at getting their shots, winning their trades, in these 1v1 interactions, being able to actually get the kill and secure the site when needed. It's very important, and because there's such an important aspect of timing, there's always this timer going on in the background. You're always conscious of how much time you have before either the spike explodes, the teams are rotating, all these different aspects. And so we'll see if SAGU can find their groove, get in the spot they need to. And for anyone else at home who may be now just joining in, we are playing Valorant. Right now, we are against Husson University. Our SAGU Lions Valorant team, they are both 1-1 in the conference, and as of right now in this set...
The set score is 1-1 for each side, and we're going into our last map. Now, with Husson's performance on the second map, they're showing that they are definitely not out of this yet, that they do want this win, and this third map is definitely... Both teams are going to be going all out, and we're going to have to see which team can take it home this week.
Absolutely. And just for the people that are just now chiming in, for those at home... What is Valorant? Valorant being a first-person shooter, the main objective is to shoot the opponent and to whittle their life down until your team lives and their team dies. And there's also this main objective of taking this bomb that's called the spike, planting it on one of the sites that's on the battlefield, known as the map. And as the attacker, you want to plant the spike, let it explode, defend the spike as it's counting down. There's about a 40-second timer until that spike goes off, and the defender's job is to either prevent them from planting said spike on one of the sites or to disarm or defuse the spike if it's already been planted. Now, the thing about these characters they're playing, or these agents as they're called in Valorant, they have all these different abilities. They have 3 of kind of like their core abilities, and then they have 1 ultimate, which is this big game-changing move that charges over the course of the game. At the start of each round, they each are given a certain amount of money, and on consequent rounds, depending on their performance of the previous round, they will get either more or less money. And they use this money to buy guns. There are bigger and better guns like assault rifles and sniper rifles, and then there are weaker, cheaper guns like shotguns and submachine guns and things like that. And so the economy of your team is a huge aspect of this game. Being able to get the money you need, get the guns you need, hold on to the money, because if you can just keep winning, because when you die, you lose all of the guns that you previously had. So once you get into a new round and everyone on your team had died, you have to spend all this money getting weapons again that can give you an edge. And that can really turn the tide. And as we saw, Husson Green, last game, they just kept pushing their momentum as hard as physically possible and doing what they could to shut out the SAGU Lions.
Yep, so right about to get in their map, they just picked out the side. Husson will be defending first, and SAGU will be attacking. So once they get that figured out, we'll be headed into the game shortly. But so far, looking at the games, both teams, I think, are very well matched.
Absolutely. I think they're both playing at a very high level. As we saw game 1, Ogden, Watto, doing everything they could to take control of the sites that were on their line of sight. And, I mean, Husson Green, they are fierce, and they have a game plan. They do really well at pushing together, at holding angles. They rotate quickly from the different sites. So if some are defending site A, some are defending site B, and they know the attackers are coming to site B, the ones that are on site A need to move over to site B so that they can have the numbers at less of a disadvantage. And Husson Green doing a really good job at holding sites. And even with just one or two people that are there, they're a strong presence. But the SAGU Lions doing the same. They're strategizing well. They're finding angles. They're creating choke points where they can flank the opponent. And they're playing really smart. And I think that if they can just find their groove in this Game 3, I think we could see a SAGU Lions win.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And definitely playing with the SAGU team, they love Haven. They have plans for it. And I'm excited to see how they're going to perform, seeing their lineup they have, because I don't know what they're running for this map. So we'll have to see. I'm very interested. But yeah, both teams are doing very good in their own respect. You can see each player having their own pop-off moments. Boss, again, going 24-12. He has these big kill games. But every other teammate has their own certain area they've expertised in over the rounds. So we can see Syntix getting a few more kills there, but leading the leaderboard for our team. But he was doing a very good job as Viper. Last map, he also had the same amount of kills, but with KJ, he was able to lock down that site and keep people from rotating and stuff like that. So each player, I think, has their own way of shining through. And I definitely think this third map is going to really showcase who's going to come out on top.
Absolutely. And, I mean, can we talk about the switch on Husson Green to Pow Smash?
Oh, yes.
I mean, he came out and swung. He is a phenomenal player. He was really holding his angles, keeping himself there. And, I mean, honestly, I think it was a great move by Husson Green because Fox was doing a good job, but it didn't seem like he was really finding his groove. With Pow Smash, he is there.
In the first map, going 17-6.
Yeah, very fair. But here we have this next matchup.
Is going to be Haven. Now we can already see that Husson has already locked in all their characters, that being KO, Cypher, Reyna, KJ, and Omen.
All these characters, very strong. He's playing to their own strengths.
Most of these players you can see on Husson are playing the exact same roles they usually do. Lance being on the KO, Austin being on the Cypher, Boss loving the Reyna, and Pigeon Mac back on the KJ for this map.
Yeah, it's interesting. And now instead of what was
a Viper,
Brimmy, we are no longer seeing Brimmy because Lance Fox and Pow Smash are here for Husson Green.
That is true. That is another switch. So now Lance and Pow Smash are both playing.
Yeah.
In this last map.
And Brimmy is now out, which means we won't be seeing a Brimstone or a Sage. But it looks like that is being covered.
We'll be running the Omen and the KJ.
Absolutely. Omen and Killjoy. When we say KJ, we are referring to the character Killjoy, which is the character with the big yellow jacket, as you're seeing right now with Syntix. Killjoy and Omen are both two really strong characters because Omen is the only character in the game that can teleport to essentially anywhere on the map. Very strong ultimate ability. Also the ability to smoke off areas from a distance. And you don't have to worry about, because I believe you can place the smoke even through walls. You can reach through walls to place the smoke. It can be very, very strong. And Killjoy having a turret, having a little alarm trigger bot, and then having a Molotov that can be activated after the fact. All of these things can really help facilitate for just locking down an area, controlling a specific part of the map. And we are gonna go into this Game 3.
So on this map, we have the double duels again, that being Raze and Jet. Bipolar with the first pick. They're gonna start pushing in here. Pigeon Mac with 2 and Boss with the 3rd.
Wow. Completely shutting down the SAGU push. And unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
And Pigeon Mac with 3.
Wow, Pigeon Mac did a great job that round, hitting a lot of his shots. The SAGU Lions kind of struggling on this first round, on these first pistol rounds. You know, for pretty much, I think everyone I've seen so far, I don't think they've won one yet.
I don't think they have won a pistol round yet. But that is okay because we'll see them come around in the full gun rounds and actually be able to sweep sometimes.
Absolutely.
So, mainly the thing that we're going to look for here is I think they're going to opt for possibly a C push. Trying to take guns and just try and stabilize.
Yeah, and as Clutch said earlier, there are 3 sites on this map.
Here goes Bipolar. He might meet with Boss, who has a Spectre. Boss able to get the pick.
Now, the thing about Reyna is the character the Boss is playing. Is that Reyna has this ability where once she kills someone, it drops this soul orb, and Reyna can use that to do a multitude of things, one of them being to heal herself.
Yeah, so there's two things that she can do, and she can only pop it twice unless she's in her ultimate. One is that she can heal herself, and if she already is at max HP, she gets basically temporary armor. The second one, she's able to dismiss, which means that for a short period of time, she cannot be shot at.
And both of those things are very strong. One can help you recover after a 1-versus-1 firefight. The other being great to get out of sticky situations, running in, getting a kill, making yourself invulnerable to bullets and running out. A very high impact kind of character. Lance Fox.
Getting a pick on Jericho
30
here.
seconds
Ogden possibly. Pow smash with the judge.
That shotgun. Pow smash getting 2 with the judge shotgun. And putting in work. And Lance doing a much better job than game 1, it feels like. Getting shots, playing smart, and again...
And now for round 3, we are going to be able to see a full gun round to come out from SAGU and Husson going for their bonus.
I've got a strategy, Clutch. I've got a game plan. It felt like last game, the SAGU Lions really tried to force buy a lot of the time. I was seeing a lot of submachine guns. I was seeing a lot of these cheaper mid-tier weapons. I personally think that SAGU can win a lot more rounds if they are able to be patient, take some losses in the low economy rounds with pistols, and save up money, and hopefully, because the big thing is momentum, they need those round wins. And as you see right there, Boss
was holding the close angle, but Ogden getting the trade.
But I really think that if the SAGU Lions can save their money, take a couple losses here and there, get some of the big Vandal, AR, operator sniper rifles, I really believe that they could find the groove, find the swing they need to start getting some wins.
I think so far, SAGU's been doing a good job with their economy. Sometimes it's just you need to buy certain guns for certain crucial rounds.
Turret out.
So while they could take those losses, sometimes it is needed.
Yeah, that is very, very important. Knowing when to buy, how much to buy, all those things play a huge part in the flow, ebb and flow of this game.
Pow smash, pick on the Syntax. Now it is just Ogden with a pick on Austin.
And Ogden getting really good shots.
He does see Lance. Jericho coming on his side here, trying to see if he can get the
Last
spike.
player standing.
But Pow is sitting in the cubby. I don't think he's aware. Oh, and Pow smash swinging out from the cubby.
Pow smash, knowing when things are happening on site, seeing his teammate getting picked off, peeking, getting the kill. And unfortunately, we're seeing a strong start from Husson Green, but SAGU getting a full buy, it looks like.
Possibly.
It looks like they're getting the weapons they want. And now let's see if they can use them to the fullest effect.
It looks like a half buy. Some people are full buying, some people are not. But I think it's all depending on the certain econ they're going to have next round. Because in their buy menu, they can see what they're going to get the next round, depending on what they buy this round.
Yeah, it helps you strategize a little better, be preemptive in what you do and how you do things. Right now, looks like they're pushing the A site.
And Ogden might go for a teleport here. Boss with the first pick on Bipolar.
Shadows traveling.
Jericho with the kill on Boss with the grenade. Getting that back sight.
And now it's 4 versus 4.
Austin with the pick.
Spike down
Is now
A.
Watto and Jericho. 2v3. He did see the knife, so I think he's on the flank.
Placing sentry.
And the 3 on
Playing cautious
Husson
here,
Green.
seeing if they can get a pick. Jericho might hit Pow Smash. Trying to back out. Watto able to get Pigeon Mac through the turret.
And Jericho.
With Lance Fox. Now it is just Pow, which he's on low HP. They are going to go for the plant. He's going to swing Jericho. And Watto with the pick.
Great job getting a trip, getting 3 kills that round. Very well done by Watto. And there it is. That's what I'm talking about, that momentum. And I really think we could see SAGU.
They were able to get that round that they needed.
Yeah, and see them get some kind of a steamroll here. And now, whether they were to buy a little or buy a lot last round, now they're able to get some of those heavier hitting guns.
We're going to see Jericho opt for an op.
The
this
operator
round
is a very
round
strong
4.
sniper rifle. And let's hope Jericho can put it to good use.
This
He
is going to be
has
very
been.
interesting.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho has been hitting his shots with that operator. And usually can get really good kills. Ogden going for an aggressive push.
He's watching that corner because Boss did like to hold that those past couple of rounds. They do clear it.
That little ghost creature, if it finds an enemy, it'll latch onto them, and that can help your teammates know whether there's someone there or not, and that is referred to as clearing it.
And there goes that KJ Molly that I was talking about. I was able to hold them off for a couple of seconds. They're now going to push on a site here, it looks like. Watto getting the first pick.
Ogden trading.
On the Lance Fox.
Or Ogden getting a second. And they're planting, getting an early plant. This is good.
Will Jericho find a pick with these knives? I think he hits one. It's 50 damage on Boss. Checking for flanks.
Right now it is a 5 versus 3.
There goes the drop. Ogden getting quickly traded by Austin.
Player standing.
House
Smash getting a triple kill. Right
is now
it's
just up to Jericho.
and
Pow Smash with 4.
Jericho. See, one of the things about games like this is when you pull out your gun, it's not immediately available for use. There's usually some kind of animation that you're stuck in so that you can't just pull out your gun and shoot the second it's out. And it kind of creates this risk of swapping to a different weapon. Do I want to reload? And unfortunately, Jericho was in his pulling out his sniper rifle animation, and the opponent was able to get the drop on him.
He wasn't as naive to try and hop across to get a better angle. And when he was trying to pull out the operator, which takes out, it's the longest gun besides the Odin to have the cast time to bring up to be able to shoot. So that was some unfortunate timing, and Pow was able to get the kill.
Very unfortunate timing.
Boss with 2 on Sigix and Bipolar.
Mid.
Ogden with the kill, but Lance taking Ogden out. It's now a 2v4.
2v4. SAGU has won these before.
Bring them down.
He is able to grab a Phantom here.
Last player standing.
Phantom, very good
But back
assault
on
rifle.
Jericho, 1v4 for Watto. But he is on full HP. He's able to get one. He's going to reload out in the open.
Wow.
But Lance not peeking.
Not able to
Trying
get
to
the
play
pick.
it safe and leaving Watto to live. From behind, he's able to get
Wow.
Pow.
Watto, great
He's now
kill.
stabilized it to a 2v1.
And as we can see,
We can now see the KO walking back to A site.
and Watto does have his ultimate. He has his ultimate ability.
I think he's going to try and opt to save here because they already are on low econ. Because now both of Husson players are watching the spike.
30 seconds left.
For him to save this gun, it's a very strong gun. To use it for next round, very smart play. Gives them a much better advantage going into this next round, and hopefully they can get that momentum moving.
All right, well, he's going to let the clock run out. 15 seconds left.
Just doing his best to stay safe,
10
check his
seconds
angles,
left.
make sure he doesn't get picked. And just for you viewers at home, we are able to see on this mini map in the top left where all the sites and opponents and teammates are, and we can also see this green glow of where all the opponents are at. The players that are playing can't see that. We are able to see it, so we know what's happening in this special spectator view, but the players can't see that. So as Watto was walking through and checking these different locations, it's because one of the opponents could be hiding right behind the corner, and he's got to make sure that he's safe. So he checks these different corners, checks these angles, and now he's got a pretty good weapon going into this next round.
Now, for SAGU, they were able to take out 3 players. So that was taking away a lot of their economy. If they're able to take this round, that will damage the economy even further. They'll probably need to save next round for Husson.
Absolutely.
And now
There.
we can see SAGU, because Wado was able to save, now they can all buy together and now have guns.
Good guns at that. Very strong assault rifles.
Now Pigeon's being very interesting here. He's playing the corner. We're going to have to see if they will clear that. It looks like there's 3 players who are opting to rotate.
And yeah, it looks like they're
While
heading
Jericho and
towards...
Ogden are holding for possible flanks.
Yeah, they're heading towards middle.
They're playing a lot slower here. Will he check this corner? Or is he going to get spotted? He does check, and he's able to get the pick on Pigeon Mac.
But he's only a 6 HP. That flashing 6 on the bottom left there, that is their health. That is how many points of health.
Is he
and
going to clear this? Or is Ogden going to
Ogden-
get the kill? He is!
Wow.
That's 2 picks.
Very well played by
That is
Ogden.
exactly what they needed here.
And Ogden is using his ultimate ability, which allows him to teleport, but
30
Boss with
unfortunately...
2.
Spike down. C.
Austin.
One enemy remaining.
Ogden coming in from behind, getting Boss. And now it is just Austin.
Cover going up. Not ready.
It's a 2v1 situation. SAGU has
Both
the
on
advantage.
very low HP. Austin, even though he has a smaller gun, he is able to possibly capitalize on this because one shot and both players on SAGU are dead.
Absolutely. And Austin, full health, hasn't taken any damage yet.
But as well, for our SAGU players, all they need to do is land 1 headshot.
Player
Oh, and
standing.
unfortunately,
Ogden just barely misses.
Ogden and
Austin with 3.
Austin.
Another clutch play for Austin, going into 6-1.
with both of the SAGU players being at such a low, being such low health, that, I mean, all Austin needed to do was place 1, maybe 2 shots, and that was it.
He was able to pick up one of SAGU's Phantoms, I think.
But very well played by Austin. And Austin getting so many clutches. He's been such a monstrous force.
He's been a powerhouse for Husson so far on a couple of these maps, getting those clutch rounds. I think
Absolutely.
it's been maybe 5 clutch rounds now for Austin.
That is pretty spectacular. But we're going to see if the SAGU Lions can get a win here. Get some kind of edge. That was a turret there placed by the opposing Killjoy.
We do see Pigeon Mac sitting in this corner behind the generator on C.
And Boss getting 2 kills.
Boss getting 2 kills. Now they're going to push through. Jericho being very aggressive. Is he going to be able to land the kill on Pigeon Mac?
And
He's
there
able to
he
get
is,
2.
Getting 2.
Now it's a 1v3.
Wow, Pigeon getting a
1v2.
third.
And
Oh.
no. He had to pick between the 2 angles.
Unfortunately, it
Lands
wasn't
in
enough.
Austin.
But that was a great triple kill by Bipolar, I believe it was.
Yes, it was Polar.
Great job.
Bipolar being able to pick up those kills. Now going 7-1.
I don't know how much it is, but every time you get a kill, you get more money. I know that.
Yes.
I don't know how much it is, but Bipolar getting those kills, that was huge. That helps keep his economy a little bit better. Maybe get some guns, some assault rifles, things that can carry them forward. And we'll see what they're able to do with that.
That is true here. But right now he's actually opting to save, which is he's doing with the rest of his team, so that way, next round, all 5 of them will be able to buy the same.
Very smart, working as a team. It's a huge part of this. And those little orbs you see,
Now
that is...
he does get his ultimate, but
Oh, unfortunate.
the cage goes down at just the wrong time, and Pal's able to get the kill.
The orb that you saw him grab actually helps charge your ultimate ability, along with, I believe, winning a round and getting a kill.
Yes, getting kills, planting the spike, and getting those ultimate orbs will all give you ultimate points.
And if you fill up those ultimate points, you eventually get your ultimate. And Lance, holding a strong presence in middle.
Is now just Syntax, 1v4. We're seeing a lot of these 1v4 scenarios.
Turret out.
And unfortunately, it wasn't
Didn't check the
enough.
right angle first, and Pigeon with the last kill.
Killjoy being able to play around that crate very well.
Now going 8-1, Husson really turning it up and showing a dominating performance so far on defense.
Wow. Husson is so strong in this defensive play. They know their angles. They know how to get into the head of the SAGU Lions, and it's tough. And especially Austin getting multiple clutches back to back. He has just been an absolute menace, but it's not like the others have been slacking either. The other players getting lots of kills, covering the angles. The SAGU Lions, they have ultimates. They have some momentum. They've got the economy. They have full bot, which means they've purchased the strongest guns and all the abilities they need. And let's hope that this can carry them into hopefully a round.
The first pick onto Jericho, but Watto gets the trade.
That was a good trade by Watto, keeping it at an even game, 4 versus 4.
I've also seen Syntix getting a pick on Lance. Polar and Ogden. It is now just Austin left. Because I don't think he's going to be able to revive the KO, who is mid.
One enemy
The KO, using his ultimate ability, allows him where when he would take fatal damage, there's a timer that keeps him alive because his ability can lock down opponents' abilities and keep them from using it. But if a teammate can't run up to him before that timer runs out, he dies for good. And unfortunately, Austin wasn't able to go over and pick him up. And it looks like... It doesn't look like Austin... Oh, Austin looks like he's trying to push for this.
Which we'll see if he actually fully peeks back into his spawn, or he's going to be met with Bipolar.
Oh,
no, he looks away
Bipolar
just at the wrong time.
Looks away right at the wrong time.
Just missing him. But Bipolar does swing back around and is able to get the pick before Austin pushes onto site.
Want to know what blows my mind every time, Clutch? I feel like that happens so much more than it should.
Oh, yes. Welcome to Valorant timing. This is something that every Valorant player talks about. It is known for you can be watching one angle, one place for, say, 30 seconds. But the 1 second you decide to look at the kill feed or the map or turn away, that is when the enemy peaks or something crazy happens.
It is almost cinematic timing, like pre-created by a famous writer, and how perfectly those just misalign.
Yeah, Valorant timing is very fun in this game.
It is a whole dilemma.
Can be made for some pretty crazy moments, especially from the caster side.
Yeah, because we here in the spectator view can see it all happening real time.
Indeed. Now we're seeing Jericho getting a pick on Pal.
You should run.
But they weren't able to see Boss.
Yeah, and
Boss was in the corner.
Wow, doing a great job at being patient, but Bipolar.
But now it's a 2v2. He gets detained.
Last player standing.
And now it's a 1v2.
And you see that Killjoy ultimate, when it said players detained, you saw that the Bipolar's hands were kind of moving in that motion. He can't shoot, he can't use abilities, he's basically on lockdown. And Killjoy's ultimate ability is very strong, because if you get locked down and you're caught out in the open, that's pretty much your life.
We're at round 11, so after this round there's only one left before they switch to defending. So we will have to see what Bipolar can do, if he can pull out a clutch for this round. Now it looks like both of Husson's players think he might have rotated.
30
They're
seconds
moving
left.
more towards B, possibly C.
He now checks. He knows the site is clear. They're checking B site right now if he's going to plant. Now would be the time too. When they do it, now they both hear the plant. Now they're going to be rushing
running
back.
As you see on the mini map in the top left, they're now running back towards A.
He's going to hide in the boxes near short. Doesn't get. He does get hit. He's able to get both. He gets a collateral headshot.
Wow.
What a clutch from Bipolar.
That's a double kill. 3 kills total for the round. Bipolar may have kept SAGU Lions.
That was an unfortunate lineup for Husson Eagles there.
Absolutely. And Bipolar capitalizing on that placement. And now SAGU Lions, they have economy. They have these guns, these Vandals, these operators.
That was crazy. And
that
we'll see Jericho
crazy.
here with the operator again.
Exactly. And we're going to see if Jericho can pull this off. Because down here towards this A site, there's this long hallway where you can see basically all the way to the site. And he's going to see if he can maybe
get going towards C here.
If he can maybe get a kill here.
Checking to see if anybody's pushing up aggressively, which none of the teammates are.
But playing patient, playing safe.
They
know how much
is
this
he going
round
to check this corner? He does because of the eye.
Wow, great job
that is why
by
Fade's
Watto.
eyeball is very nice.
Fade, the character that Watto was playing, has this little eyeball that can reveal opponents. and
but you can
disrupt their
also
flow.
shoot it.
Yes.
And so with the Omen there, it was either he had to pick to either get seen by the eye or shoot it and possibly kill the player who was rushing him, which he tried to opt for the shoot, and Bipolar was able to capitalize on that kill.
Absolutely. Great teamwork by the SAGU Lions. And right now, they've got a really good spot here on site. It's 4 versus 2. But it is Austin. Austin is still alive, and he is a force to be reckoned
and
with.
Boss. They're both coming CT.
They
back
are
of their spawn.
A force to be reckoned
Ogden
with.
trying to blind. He blinds them both. He gets one. He has to reload. He runs away, though. He doesn't get killed. And
wow.
Syntix with the last kill.
Great blind by Ogden. Ogden, his character Omen, can shoot this orb that goes through walls that basically stops players from seeing it, blinds them. It's not technically a flash. It's what's known as a near sight, where it basically makes it look like they have a fog over their eyes and they can only see about 5 feet in front of them. And one of the strongest things about that ability is that it goes through walls. It can also go through multiple opponents and blind multiple opponents. And as you saw there, Ogden blinding both Boss and Austin. You can be the best shot in the world. If you can't see, you can't see.
And now we switch, going 8-4. I think that was the most optimal play that they could have gotten there, getting those 2 rounds back to back. And now we go for the defense, and we'll have to see just how well they do.
And because we have switched rounds, their economy is reset. Both teams are back down to 800 credits. Starting
now we're going to see another pistol round, which...
Mark 3.
All right, well, Watto's Eye just picked
up... Yeah, Watto's Eyes, we talked about
3
earlier.
players.
It picked up multiple players, so now they know where they're going. Now they know what they want.
Now here come the rotates. Gets
and
one,
Watto
he gets 2!
Getting a double kill.
Spike planted.
And Bipolar holding sight. Jericho getting a pick.
It is now just the Cypher.
Oh, and
Syntix with the
Syntix.
kill.
And there it is.
And there we go, the pistol round.
And there's the pistol round. SAGU holding strong.
I think that is something that was needed for SAGU and their momentum and their attitudes going into this defending half to keep their spirits up and continue with their streak that they're going on right now.
Absolutely. And honestly, that early double kill by Watto, very well played. The opponents absolutely did not expect him to be in that very specific spot, because I feel like it was a really unorthodox angle that he was sitting at.
It's an off angle, yeah.
Yeah, and that allowed him to get 2 kills because the opponents got completely unaware. Actually, I think in that round he got a total of 3. Got a total of three kills. Very well played by Watto. But right now, we're going into this next round.
And now we can see they are making some B presence here, and we can see SAGU buying their guns, Spectres and Ares.
Looks like
pushing up through B now.
Yeah, Husson Green pushing through the middle towards B site.
Jericho making the call that they're all there. He's going to throw his boom bot, see if he can get anything. Watto and Syntix. Watto with 3. And Ogden clearing it up.
Wow.
That is 8-6. That is 2 rounds now.
Great job by the SAGU Lions. And this is what I'm talking about, this momentum. It's really what they needed, and now they have the economy. They're shutting down the economy of Husson Green.
Now going to this 3rd round, we can see that Husson now will have a full buy of guns with Phantoms and Vandals. And SAGU is going to see if they can play their bonus, get any picks with the guns that they have, so they're not spending extra money.
Absolutely. And here they are setting up their defensive abilities, things like that.
Placing swarm grenade.
And as we can see here, SAGU Lions playing defensive. I really like what I'm seeing here, Clutch. They're playing a lot stronger than they did Game 2. And this seems like the Game 1 SAGU Lions that we saw in that second half, where they're playing smart, they're getting picks. I mean, that last round, that was a huge pinch of Ogden, Polar, and Watto all capitalizing on that B rush, where the opponent just trying to push into the B site too quickly, and the SAGU Lions capitalizing on it.
I definitely think so, and I think SAGU does a very good job on defense.
Absolutely.
And we see trades come out from both sides. It's now a 2v3 in favor of SAGU.
The SAGU Lions having the numbers advantage, but as of right now, Husson Green was able to get the spike planted onto the A side, and
was able to get the headshot.
With Bipolar trading, and trading
now
1 for 1 until
there is none.
There's none. The thing about having a numbers advantage, if you can just trade every kill for another kill. Every death on your team for a new kill, you'll win the round.
Indeed, and that was a save round
Yes.
for SAGU. They didn't really need to buy anything else there, so they're going to go in this with a lot of cash, and Husson will have to save now, I think.
Yeah.
And here comes the timeout.
There's
for
the
Husson.
timeout by Husson Green. And this is good. This is good for SAGU. They are showing that they're not backing down without a fight. They're playing smart, playing together. I don't know if there's any way we can listen to the comms here, but I assume they're going to be strategizing. They're going to be talking about different things that are going to be happening during the game. And honestly, I like what I'm seeing here. They're playing as they did game 1. Lots of coordinated efforts, lots of shutting down. I honestly think the SAGU Lions are much stronger on defense.
Yes, they do really well on defense. And now that we have this timeout, I think Husson's now going through the same idea of, hey, why are we losing 4 rounds in a row now, 2 rounds on attack and now 3 rounds on defense? What's going on? How do we change this? And they're also going to try and stop some of SAGU's momentum, as what we can use tactical timeouts for, is to kind of slow the roll and see if we can redistribute the power balance between the two teams.
Absolutely. And timeouts can be huge. Getting a little break, getting a little breather, as we saw before SAGU doing before, now Husson Green basically forcing a timeout and then having to recalibrate, say, hey, we're losing a bunch of rounds. They now have to save their money. They are actually, I'm seeing a lot of SMGs. I think they're going to force buy and buy.
Looks like they're going to buy what they can and make sure they have enough for ARs for the next round, it looks like.
Yeah, and so getting what they can, but for the most part, saving their money so that the next round they can get the really strong assault rifles and hopefully go toe-to-toe with the SAGU Lions. But SAGU Lions now creating just a 1-point lead. They're only behind by 1 round.
Now it looks like they're pushing through mid and trying to get B presence established. But Jericho has an operator. He
not dying.
Barely hits a collateral. Here goes the nade to stop the push.
Oh, and Watto
with the opening pick.
Great follow-up there.
Here comes the ultimate from Fade. Lands with the pick on Ogden. Lands with 2 on
lands
Jericho.
With 2.
Bipolar.
Bipolar. Right now it's a 2
traded.
versus 3. And Austin planting on what I look like the C site. And now the SAGU Lions.
It is Watto and Syntix
having to retake this site, gain control.
Be very careful here since there's 2 players watching Garage. Austin's 1 HP, has to be very careful here of Pow. Pow with the teleport outside.
Teleporting out.
I think Watto knows where he teleported to though.
Oh, but that that blind that we talked about before, very dangerous.
Be very careful. Syntix doesn't know where to look. Okay, he gets 1. Can he get the other 2? He only has 6 bullets in the mag.
Oh,
Boss with
unfortunately
the Ares.
not. And that timeout paying off for Husson Green.
And they are able to grab those guns.
They got the strong ARs off of... Because when you die in the game, you drop your gun, and whoever, teammate or opponent, can pick it up. So at the end of the round, if you kill all the opponents, you can pick up their really strong guns and keep it for yourself. So the next round, you're going in, saving your money and getting a stronger weapon.
That's why what we call those bonus rounds are so crucial, because if they do happen to pick off more players and win, they can then take free guns that they don't have to pay for.
Absolutely. But
Where are you?
as we saw, the timeout paying off for Husson Green, and now the SAGU Lions, they're kind of having to save here. But I think next round they're really banking on being able to regain some weapons, get some ARs, get a Vandal, get an Operator. And
Yes,
so
next
right
round
now,
will definitely be a full round for them.
absolutely. And right now they're just trying to get some kills.
First pick onto Jericho.
See if they can limit.
They're calling on A, and they're rushing on to A now.
Absolutely. SAGU Lions trying to limit the economy of the opponent, but right now, Husson Green playing strong,
Spike planted.
making it very hard for the SAGU Lions to even approach. They're pushing on site.
Bipolar able to get a Spectre here. Here comes the
And
push
there's
out.
Bipolar getting killed through
Pow.
the smoke.
Player standing.
And
Pow with 3 this round.
Pow getting 3 kills. Just
Now
being an
just up to
absolute
Watto.
menace.
Watto with a headshot on Boss.
Great headshot on Boss.
I wonder if
but-
he heard. He does hear the stairs. And he is able to get the second.
Wow, great job by Watto getting a Vandal.
It looks like he's not going to be able to stop it, so I think he's going to try and save this Vandal here. Yep, as everyone is leaving. He had no exit kills.
Very well played by Watto, grabbing the Vandal. Now, and denying a lot of the Husson Green economy, getting 3 kills. Hopefully resetting this game to a point where the SAGU Lions can regain some momentum, get back into it.
We're now looking at it. Both sides will have full buys here.
Absolutely. This game is very, very winnable. So we will see if the SAGU Lions can retake some ground here. They're on an even playing field.
Looks like they might opt for C here. Playing very slow, seeing if they can get any picks. Ogden peeking now that his smoke is down.
And Ogden almost getting some picks.
Here comes the flash.
And
he
Ogden
doesn't
getting
get flashed
a
by
great
it.
first kill. That gives them a 5 versus 4 advantage.
Bipolar able to shoot the Omen ult before he fully teleports, but now they know that there's 2 on site. Boss in garage.
Boss hoping to maybe get a flank, but actually it looks like the team is
I think
rotating.
Syntix hears him hopping up the stairs.
And if he pushes
Is he gonna
forward...
get the pick here? He does!
Wow, great job by
What a
Syntix.
wonderful shot. It looks like the rest of Husson is going to try and go for A here.
And it is 5 versus 3. This is a great spot for SAGU to be in right now. And there's Watto calling out, knowing they're going towards A,
Still waiting.
trying to hold their own.
Spike planted.
And Husson Green getting the spike plant.
With the KJ ultimate online, so now SAGU has to back out and wait for it to go down. This allows time for Husson to regroup and get to the angles that they want to.
And it also wears down the time on the spike, limiting SAGU to just 30 seconds to try and get this site and
Here they go.
defuse this spike. And Husson playing really smart, playing really safe.
He was in
and
the corner.
Austin!
Austin and Pigeon Mag.
Wow.
Austin was in that corner, which is what we call graffiti, and he was able to
That was a great
hit 3.
That was a great job by Pigeon and Austin. That pinch was placed perfectly, timed perfectly.
Austin again with another clutch play of getting 3 kills.
Absolutely. Very, very dangerous.
We're going into 11-7. 7-11.
7-11. Wow. Shout out. We are not sponsored.
Be great.
That'd be great. That'd be nice. Here, SAGU Lions holding their own. Trying to make sure they're covering.
Looks like they're going to try and go for
side?
B again. They're pushing up B real quick.
And Syntix has his ultimate. He could drop it if needed. Same with Bipolar. We have a lot.
They're trying to get the kill. He sees it. He's
Oh,
able
and
to
he-
get the pick on Pigeon.
And he stopped that.
Oh, no, Austin.
And
Getting the pick.
Austin covering the angle behind the KO.
There's now Jericho and Waddle, and they're both in window.
Oh, pow smash. Another
Sitting in the
double
back
kill.
towards their spawn, now putting them into match point.
Wow. If SAGU loses this round, that's another loss in the conference. We'll see if they can get some ground. Right now, SAGU has a lot of ultimates. I mean, it's do or die out here.
They do, and I definitely think they're going to use them here. They are force buying here because they have to.
Yeah.
So not everyone's going to have a Vandal, but most do.
Yeah, most of them had a good enough economy to get some strong weapons, a Vandal, a Bulldog.
Ooh,
but
now we see a possible play coming through here. We're going to see a Fade and Raze combo. Fade's one ability is that anyone that gets caught in her radius gets stuck inside that radius. And Raze's grenade does a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
So if you pair both of them together, if anyone gets stuck, instantly dead.
Yep. Very, very strong.
But because Husson was actually staying back, they were kind of looking for those things, and now they're finally going to start their push.
Yeah. Playing very patient. The thing about Husson Green, very smart. Even though this is the last round, they have the advantage, they're still taking their time, being patient.
Jericho
And
with
wow!
2! He has his
Jericho.
ultimate. Is he able to get the kill? No, he barely misses
unfortunately
boss.
not.
Watto's in heaven now.
Watto trying to do what he can to figure out where the opponent is using his different
Here comes the
abilities.
swing. Because we had Syntix's ult, they're able to get onto site, forcing them to get off. Bipolar in their spawn. He's going to be able to get in their flank kill here. Pigeon's
One
trying to
enemy
find
remaining.
him. It's just Pigeon. And there
there
we
he
go.
All right.
A much-needed round win with only one death
SAGU Lions
for
staying
SAGU.
in it.
So they were able to keep their economy strong there.
Absolutely. And Husson Green, they had won some rounds previously, so they have the economy to keep up with the SAGU Lions, but SAGU Lions get their abilities. It's an even game in terms of economy and weapons, different things. We'll see if SAGU can keep this momentum. They've got to win the next 4 rounds. They can't drop a single round if they want to stay in this.
They cannot.
And I believe that SAGU Lions can
But
do
I've
it.
seen it happen before.
Absolutely. And now it looks
They
like
are
they're
going for C here.
moving for a C site push. And now
they're
they
gonna
know.
push fast. Are they able to get a pick? No, not yet. Ogden with
Unable.
one, but Boss gets traded.
And
Austin.
Austin getting a pick on Bipolar.
And now we see the rotates coming through.
Spike planted.
3v4, still very much doable for SAGU.
Very much doable.
Watto able to hit all of them and tag them, so they know where every single person's location is.
Tagging is the same as marking. It's just revealing their location
Watto
and
with
knowing
one,
where they
Boss. Here comes the ultimate.
Player standing.
are. But
It's
unfortunately,
now just up to Jericho.
Jericho
and
and
that is going to be it.
that is going
Boss
to
with the
be the
3K.
game 3. Man, Husson University, really good. Austin just getting, every single one of their players was getting double kills, triple kills, just these crazy aces back to back. And as you can see there, Boss just
Boss again with the top frag.
being a menace. And just, see, I feel like Boss wasn't getting these big flashy kills, but pretty much every round he was getting at least 1, maybe 2, sometimes 3, 4, 5. Every round he was making an impact. And as you can see there, Bipolar doing a great job. Watto really keeping it up there, but it just wasn't enough. Husson University, a very strong opponent. Very good contenders.
It was an amazing match to watch, and I'm glad that we were able to go to a game 3 because it went the whole distance almost.
Absolutely. And both teams did a phenomenal job. The SAGU Lions have grown a lot. They are finding that spear, if you will. They've got the shield down. Their defensive game is really strong, but they do struggle a little bit when it comes to attacking these sites, getting some momentum in the offensive aspect, retaking sites. As you said, that's something that Watto wanted to practice. How are we going to retake sites? So they've got the shield. Now they just need to find the spear. And I think the way that Watto and the rest of the team is kind of keeping their head in the game and practicing these play styles, I really think that we're going to watch them grow. There's a lot of potential here.
So obviously they're still trying to find that rhythm with Asher or Syntix being the new addition to the team. They're trying new compositions, new ways to play, pushing faster or slower. There's a lot of changes they're wanting to do for this semester. So once they find the rhythm in that, I think they're really going to steamroll into these next few weeks once they get their rhythm down and understand really what they're doing and what each one thrives at doing.
Absolutely. And this has been a great broadcast, great games. Well done by both SAGU Lions and Husson University. And just for you at home, on Monday nights, we have Super Smash Bros. This has been the SAGU Sports Network. Tuesdays today, we have Valorant. On Wednesday nights, we have Rocket League. And then Friday nights, we have Call of Duty. And all the teams are competing very well. They're all doing a great job playing hard. And each one is going to continue to do better and better. And I don't know. I think that's it for us.
I think so.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning into the SAGU Sports Network. Please find us, follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the things. Same with the SAGU Esports social media. And all of us have, Twitch and YouTube, and we want you to connect with us. So please reach out to us. Let us know what you thought. And we would love to hear from you. But this has been a wonderful stream. My name is Evan the Astro Kid.
And I'm Clutch.
And I think that's going to be it for us. And this has been the SAGU Sports Network.
We'll see you guys tomorrow for Rocket League.